everybody, and welcome to June. Alex Navarro.
Yes.
Welcome to June.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I couldn't enter June until you welcomed me, so thank you.
Who went and made you the boss of June?
It was voted on. There were 60 other people that entered the thing. Funny, they split all the votes. I was the only one running on Mayor of June, and I won. So I'm the Mayor of June now, and everybody's welcome. Welcome, Brad Shoemaker.
It's weird because you weren't even in the race like a month ago.
It's weird. I just jumped right in. Turns out you can divide and conquer very easily. Happy Pride out there, and happy Video Game Month to everyone. Or happy Video Game Week. We got a lot packed into the first week of June here.
Happy 3 months before September.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of how I treat summer as well, is the
When all
3
the video
months
games-
before I get fall.
When all the video games are coming out.
We've got, yes, apparently. We'll talk about the Sony State of Play after we talk about some games first. We just jump right into it? Just jump right into it.
Real quick, before we jump in,
please.
I just want to say, this doesn't play on a podcast, but my son Zeke is here on my lap during this
large
podcast.
cat.
Your handsome
large
boy.
cat here present for this podcast.
Big Cat says
He's
hi.
going through a growth spurt right now, I know,
Wait.
because he starts eating a lot more when he goes through a growth spurt.
Wait, he's Big the cat?
Yes.
Not yet. He will be, though.
Has anybody listening to this podcast ever named your cat Big?
Write
If
in,
I-
tell us.
I
If
heard
I ever
someone
get a
say
cat,
yes.
If I ever get a cat, I might actually name the cat Big.
Is it 2 G's in Big the Cat?
No, it's one.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
You have to
just
get a big cat if you do that, though. If you get a small cat name and big, that's illegal.
Well, that's like
Fair.
Tiny. You could do that. That's like,
No.
Yeah, named
No.
him Tiny.
No. He also needs to be purple.
I used a Big the Cat desktop wallpaper for a very long time around the time of the Dreamcast.
Aw.
I am a fan of Big the Cat.
I got nothing against him. He's a good dude.
Well, you know what? That reminds me, Alex. I don't want to just hijack the pet thunder, the Zeke Thunder, but
I just wanted to give everyone at home the opportunity to imagine
Yes.
a cat in my lap as I do this podcast.
You are like a supervillain petting a cat in your lap, talking into a microphone.
Blofeld ass podcaster.
Yeah,
right,
right,
here.
exactly. I'll just give people a quick update because I think I mentioned it last time that Kirby's surgery is over and done,
Yes.
and he is recovering. He is now an insufferable, energetic dog because he needs to not be energetic, but he's feeling much better, walking around much better, and now we have to have like gates and more gates and block couches because he wants to be the old Kirby, and
he wants to jump on everything immediately.
Yeah, he's still got weeks and weeks, and he's wearing his little cone thing that gets hits everything. And also, I'll just add, freaking Alex, I know you understand this, but I don't think you have this problem with the cats. These groundhogs have no sense of self-preservation. These big-ass, furry, tank-looking, waddling assholes who just be like into the backyard with a dog who's just sitting on the steps. Doing that thing where it just like heads up, just tracking, being like, I'm going to wait for somebody to make a quick move here, and then I'm going to sprint towards you. And the dog should not be sprinting.
Yes, you're right. I'm not surprised by this, though, because as someone who has dealt with a lot of groundhogs in his backyard, groundhogs don't give a fuck, man.
They really
don't
do
give
not.
a fuck. This is their territory. Again, the only animal I have ever been straight up mean mugged by was a one-eyed groundhog that I had in a cage when we trapped a few of them in our backyard. And that dude, I could feel the murder in his heart. I could feel it.
The part here too is this groundhog for generations now, and I mean that literally, has been on my neighbor's under his porch. God forbid my neighbor find that groundhog. I know that neighbor's gonna fuck up that groundhog. That neighbor does not give a shit.
Yeah.
But the groundhog has 2 little pups, and it's adorable.
Yeah.
And that stupid ass adult groundhog waddles into the backyard, and the kids are even smarter. The kids will come and be like, "Yo, Dad, there's fucking dog up on that shit. I'm gonna turn around."
They only know 3 things: dig, climb, and eat. That's it. That's all they know how to do. And
eat hot chip and lie.
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, I saw one climbing my fruit tree like 3 weeks
they can
ago.
Climb?
I did not know they could climb until I saw it climbing my fruit tree to get fruit out of the tree. They're learning. They're evolving.
Groundhogs more like tree hogs.
Yeah, seriously. Stay in your lane, groundhog. This dumbass, I come out of the garage. My dog is on the porch, head up with the dumbass cone radar dish on it, staring, tracking, like an animal does, just being like, I see this other animal. Groundhog just waddling along. I don't see it until I open the fence, in which case the dog is now like, oh, we got him pinned. He starts running, which he shouldn't do. He shouldn't be running. So I have to be like, Kirby, Groundhog is just running towards me. Gets about up to my, I'm like, are you
it
just
knows
gonna...
you're not going to bite it. That's why.
And then cuts right and goes under a different fence. Anyway, that's the update. Kirby needs to relax a little bit. He's doing great. He feels great.
The groundhogs could just take a powder for now, just so he can recuperate.
Give me a break, okay? Just give me a little break. You are cute. It is true, but
and they're cute until they're not.
Well, we've had 2 groundhogs removed from our property once Kirby was done, air quotes, playing with them by the town. You think word might get out at some point that maybe this backyard isn't the place to go?
I don't think they have that communications network to really let people know down the line what's going on here.
No. Groundhog's got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
It's plenty
might as well be in your backyard
without a dog. Anyway, 007 First Lights is
that's a video game.
Out.
The groundhog of video games.
That's right.
They're calling it.
James Bond saw his shadow.
That's right. It's got 3 more months of Q and M.
It gets a new reboot.
007 First Light, the IO Interactive makers of Hitman's take on the James Bond classic 007. No, not Arthur Conan Doyle. Who's James Bond? Ian Fleming.
Yes.
We played some of this on the stream on Patron's Choice. I have played a bunch more of it. We're not going to talk necessarily story spoilers here, but if I were to, you would just be like, that's not a spoiler. That's just James Bond stuff. But I will avoid that. I will just say that if you're trying to gauge where I am, I have wrapped up the mission that is in Vietnam. And so I have just done that. It feels like I am nearing the end, though I don't know if my hour count would match up with some of the play counts I have heard. So we'll see.
I've heard anywhere between 12 and 20 hours, depending on probably how much time you spend wandering around the environments where you can poke at stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm probably a little bit more towards the 12. I didn't check my hour count, but my initial thoughts here are I like it quite a bit, but it's like more Uncharted than I had initially it felt it was going to be.
It's an interesting arc for me coming or hearing about this game and watching you play it on Friday, because like I went into it before it came out, I was like, oh, this is going to be super Uncharted, right? And then you played the first 2 hours of it and I was like, oh, there's more Hitman in this than I was expecting.
Like
and
both
even,
from a mechanical and like animation perspective.
Yes, but then even given that, like hearing you say that, and also a lot of the other people I've seen talking about it say, like, yes, it is actually very scripted story sequence Uncharted type stuff. And anyway, go ahead. I think I was hoping for more Hitman and less Uncharted.
It is not Hitman. I will say that. It is
has
not
some Hitman in it, but
like, you can tell it's from people who have worked on Hitman, but it is not Hitman. I mean, the crowd stuff is probably the most Hitman. The
settings, like the individual level settings, feel like they could, in some different configuration, be like Hitman maps, but they're not designed that way.
And I like the stealth is pretty reminiscent. The little visibility indicator when somebody's about to spot you.
Yes,
like a lot of the UI cues and just general kind of flow of the stealth is pretty familiar.
But I'm playing on normal. The game is not difficult until it is, and then and even at that point, it's fairly forgiving. And when I say it's not difficult until it is, I feel like they don't necessarily. Bond is very fragile. Bond can go down very quickly in a fight. Like three big hits in a fight from a punch or something, and Bond could go down. But you also recover health, kind of, if you just take a breather for a little bit. So you can just duck out, recharge your health. The problem I have with the fisticuffs is that there's punching, there's parrying, which you kind of just hit the button, very easy, big window to parry. But then there's also this grapple people will do. You get like a little red dot, like a little red blink, and then they grapple you. And that can be very fast. And if you get hit with 2 or 3 of those, you just go down. So if you get surrounded and you're fighting, you can kind of fight your way out. I have before. It's not that difficult. but it is not a Hitman. You're throwing scissors at everybody, right? Like,
I mean, there's a little of that. I've definitely gotten out of a couple of tight spots by just grabbing shit that was near me or using
usually
the
a
sort
coffee
of like
cup or something. Yeah,
the spy watch triggers on various objects around, like things that where it feels like you are just using the environment for chaos more than anything else.
Yeah, I have just not found it to be as systems heavy as like a Hitman, right?
Well,
like
it's not as dynamic.
It's not as dynamic, or it's not like as clockwork. It's not that game. It isn't just not that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although for considering what it could have been, I feel like any amount of Hitman is kind of a victory because it could have just been ledge hanging and cover shooting and like just Uncharted, you know. So like I feel like them working any amount of Hitman in there is better than none.
And again, if you're coming from the background of having made Hitman pretty much exclusively for, you know, the decade plus prior to that, I think if you just need to get a quick, you know, framework for like what is the action adventure part of our game going to be like, Uncharted is like the easiest thing to pull from and very understandable.
And not a bad thing to pull from.
Yeah.
I really like the Uncharted games. So this does have a lot of ledge hanging. It's got a lot of shimmying and jumping
you know,
around.
Agent 47 does some of that too.
Yeah. Let me kind of talk let me talk outside of what James Bond is, right? Like, so this game has a lot of ledge hanging, climbing. It also has a lot of encounters where you can stealth your way through. Like you said, Alex and Brad, you can both use your watch, you can zap things, you could do this, or you could just go guns blazing and try and duke and fight it out. I think both are very, very viable. I have mostly just done the thing I do in these games, which is go stealth until it goes loud, and then I'm fighting. Or headshots, super easy. Everybody goes down in one hit with a headshot, except the guys that wear a helmet. And then they take a couple of shots. You can easily shoot the guns out of people's hands also, and you could shoot them in the knees and have them go down. I usually just go for the headshot. The levels in the story don't necessarily have a lot of damn it, Fisher, we're pulling you out if you fuck it up. You're kind of allowed to go loud in many circumstances.
So is the license to kill thing from the tutorial, was that just a fun goof? That's not like some mechanic.
That's in the game all the time.
Oh, it is. So is that a mechanic? Like, are there parts where you can't kill?
I think there are parts where they don't want you to kill. I don't know. I've not experienced a thing where I have shot somebody and they have been like, damn it, James, like I can't believe you murdered somebody. Usually what happens is I go stealth until somebody pulls a gun on me, and then it says like license to kill. And
so it's okay. It's just a dialogue thing then.
Yeah. I mean, they don't say it. It just goes up on the top of the screen. I think it just means guns loud. There are story beats in this thing where you're going around murdering 1,000 people, and then suddenly they just put you in a fist fight, and you're like, dude, I just shot like everybody on my way in here. It's okay. We could just shoot this guy. The action sequences I think are fun, but like I said, if you take, you know, those games where you're everything's super easy and you're doing something, but you just wind up in a bad spot and you're like, I'm just surrounded, and you just get peppered and you're like, I took a wrong turn, or I picked the wrong cover to be behind. This cover just got obliterated and now I'm just dead. Yeah. And then the reloads are kind of long. You know, like to reload the checkpoint can be, it's not a deal breaker. I'm just used to fast reloads now.
Yeah, it's one of those things that feels a little last gen in terms of like how it is bringing that stuff back up. But
yeah, I don't mind it. I like it. And I actually kind of like the part where it's a mix between Uncharted, and I mentioned this somewhere else, but it feels almost a little Sleeping Dogs at times, where you're just
the hand-to-hand stuff occasionally
you're just
does
fucking guys up. You are just punching them and slamming their heads against tables and just like bashing their heads on anything that is there, and you mostly get out of fights that way. Like, you just take people down. Sometimes feels a little broken. If you're playing this game, don't sleep on the grab, because
that grab does some work,
because you punch guys and the heavies will block, right? But you could just grab them, and as soon as you grab them, you just start fucking them up to no end, and you could just push them off ledges. You just bash their heads into everything. So what you can wind up doing is punch, so they block, grab, beat the shit out of them until they break free. They block again, just grab them again, and that works on pretty much every enemy in the game, even the quote-unquote boss encounters. You could just kind of stun lock them a little bit into just beating the shit out of them, especially if there are coffee cups on the tables around you, because then you're just throwing those and smashing them into their head, which breaks them. And then the gunplay is very Uncharted. I don't know. By Uncharted, I mean it's very snappy. I know not always supposed to just reference other games. It is very hide behind cover, pop out, shoot a guy in the head, go back behind cover, pop out. Yeah. The ammo feels a little bit more limited. So where you're swapping guns, you'll pick up a gun and it'll only have like 9 bullets in it or something. But usually the bad guys will drop weapons. The other thing the enemies do to keep you moving so you don't just stay behind cover is they throw grenades a lot. And the grenades kind of magnetize to you a bit. They're always within like 2 feet of you. The grenades don't go wide a lot. And so you kind of have to move out of the way. Otherwise, you'll just die from a grenade. But that's a combat in it. Story-wise, I'm not going to give anything away here, but it is pretty... weren't too many swerves in it. I think it's spy thriller stuff. It is general the setup like we saw in the thing we did on Friday.
The stream,
I almost said quick look. On Friday was you're a rookie recruit. You're the guy who runs the program, the 00 program, who's in charge of training you, is like your nemesis. He hates you. And then it's a revived 00 program. They had been dormant for a while, and you're a new recruit. I don't want to give too much away where we left off. I think we left off at the end of the training, right?
Yeah. That for as long as that prologue is, that training montage sequence is like one of the better edited things I've seen in a game in a minute.
It's very well done.
Snappy.
The snappy, like, hard cut from training thing to training thing. Like, it's something you see in movies all the time, but don't see in games very much. Like, they just execute it super well.
It's also, like, the tone is really well executed. Like, the thing I was very concerned about going into this game was, like, am I going to give a shit about a young James Bond? Like, is this even interesting anymore? But I think they settled on a version of the character and a kind of tone for resetting this universe for their own version of it that I think works pretty well for me. Like, it's not flawless, but I think Bond is... I mean, look, he doesn't read like James Bond early on, but that's because he's learning to be a spy. He's not already that seasoned, fucking swarthy, swaggering personality. But there's enough of that in there to where I think it reads, and I think even having the other young agents and stuff around him, like, that shit isn't cloying or annoying. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, here's your young adult version of Bond. Like, no, they actually get to some, like, good dynamics between those characters. And I think that it went a long way to me just easing into this thing and being like, okay, they have an idea about how they want to approach Bond. It's not just, here's our generic action game that has Bond stuff in it.
I do think later on, especially around where I am, maybe a little bit before, a bit before where I am, there's a portion of the game where it's too quippy. It just gets too back and forth. Like, it just feels like, Bond, we need to go upstairs. That's what she said. Bond, we need to go downstairs. That's what she said. But he's not saying that's what she said. Just
I was going to say, I would hope the quips are a little better than that.
It's just like every line has like a snarky response or some kind of like response to it, like...
I mean, that is Bond, but also, I mean, that also feels like early Bond where he'd be trying out a lot of lines, but they wouldn't all be working.
Yeah, like the early stuff about, like, they have to just shove a scene in there of him seducing, like, the secretary at MI6 and sleeping with her or whatever. It's like they do have kind of a Bond checklist that they need to hit of character traits.
Yeah, I mean, he's still like look, he's a very young, handsome man who is very confident, right? Supposed to be very charming. And so I think they do an okay stuff with most of the characters. I actually like a lot of the characterizations. Just in mission, sometimes, especially during that part, it got a little bit like, all right, relax. Not everything needs to have this comeback, but mostly okay. I am enjoying my time with it. Some minor quibbles aside, some weird things in the game. A couple of times, at least one time, I'll say, I don't want to exaggerate too much. Guy melted through the floor, right?
Yeah.
A time a guy is just running in place because he's caught on the environment. Some
I've
things
definitely seen
happen.
some glitches here and there, especially around like physics and stuff.
It's a couple of disconnects from the server, pops up. I don't know if you've had those, Alex, as well. Where
I haven't run into any, but I also haven't spent like a ton of sessions playing that. Like, okay. I got past the training stuff. I did the next mission, and then that's about where I am in the game.
Okay, so did you do the club?
Yeah.
Okay. The disconnect stuff I understand when you come back from sleep. That I feel like that's
sure.
That's,
yes,
that's
you can't just
happen.
like resume without reconnecting. Yeah,
it's going to reconnect, but sometimes it just happens and it just pauses for a second, and then I always hit retry. I don't play it offline. I have not done. There is a simulation in the game.
Is that tax sim?
Yeah, I have not participated in those. I've mostly just been going through the story. I did click into it just to kind of get a vibe of what it is, and it seems like that feels very Hitman of, hey, here are challenges in your missions that you've done if you want to go back maybe and retry some stuff. I like, again, I didn't explore it that much, so maybe I'm mistaken, but that's what it seemed like. Had like a grid of those squares from Hitman of like different challenges and all sorts of things.
Yeah, so they've said they're going to be adding to the tax sim mode post launch.
Okay.
And yes, like you said, that seems like that's where the more robust Hitman-y type stuff might start getting filled out.
Because the game, like I said, it's very forgiving. If you bungle a thing, it's not like Hitman where you wind up just kind of taking a wrong turn and you're dead. You can really fight your way out of a lot of bad situations once the alarms go off. The game is very forgiving with situation contained. Like if you take out the 3 guys that are in your room, it'll be like situation contained, and it's like nobody ever saw you. Like you're good. You can just move on. Which, going back to marrying it to more of the Bond stuff, feels in line with movie magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, all the time in Bond, as sometimes as a goof, sometimes as part of a heightening of tension, a thing goes wrong. He opens a door, there are 5 guys in there, you break stealth, he resolves it, you're back in stealth. It feels very much of the movie. The watch, they let you pick different loadouts for the watch. You get more than you can equip for the watch, and at some point they're like, hey, you can pick 3 of 5 of these, and they'll usually be like, this feels like a laser watch mission, and you're like, okay, thank you, or like, maybe sleep darts, or
could be useful.
Vomit darts or whatever. I mostly just use the laser and the one that makes people throw up.
Understandable.
And it seemed like I kind of don't touch the other ones, and you get some other ones later that I won't mention because they come along in the story. Cool game. I don't know, 4 stars so far for me, I would say out of 5.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah. We'll see how it all wraps up. See if there are any more twists and turns. I feel like I have kind of taken the final twist here.
How's Lenny Kravitz?
I did not enjoy his performance.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did not, past tense, not, am not. Like, is he not the over... well, whatever. I don't want to have you reveal or spoil more than you're comfortable with, but
maybe he comes back into the game. But for the portion of the game he was in, I really thought it was an odd casting choice.
I see. Okay,
I don't think he's much of an actor.
No, I don't think so.
There are other great actors in this game. Like I said, for the most part, the performances are delivered very well.
I think all the main cast people, for the most part, are pretty good.
Yeah, even other actors in that area are fun. It's a weird vibe. This is in the trailer.
I mean, Bond villains are supposed to be a little weird.
He plays an overlord, like he plays like a kind of a kingpin of that
crime
area,
boss kind of guy. Yeah, right.
And he just does not feel threatening at all.
Interesting.
Like, he just doesn't have that. It just doesn't deliver like a threatening persona.
I thought he was like the villain of the game from some of the pre-release marketing, but maybe not.
Hey, maybe you can make different choices in the game. I don't think you can, but that was a part of the game for sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know if other people have different feelings about that part. I thought it was enough on my radar to elicit a this isn't really working for me. Yeah, vibe. Which again, just an odd casting. I don't because it feels like you'd go out of your way to cast Lenny Kravitz unless you're
maybe someone's just a really big fucking Lenny Kravitz fan over at IO. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I like I said, I think it's pretty good. I think I would recommend this one. If you are a fan of Hitman, this will be different. If you're looking for IO Hitman, this is going to be a different thing. It's not going to be that. Almost if you're a fan of Uncharted-ish style adventure games, this might be more your cup of tea. I would not dare to speak if you're a fan of Bond games, because what are those, right? Like I don't really know what that is. But it's kind of a gadgety adventure game.
I mean, there are Bond games that are good.
There's been plenty.
Oh yeah,
kind of
but
shockingly,
they're kind of all over the place.
They are all over the place. Yes.
I think I was hoping for a little bit more in the gadget realm too. Like it's mostly point at something, hold the left bumper, and then push a button, and a thing happens. But yeah, 007 First Lights. I assume I will be wrapped up with that next week, so maybe I'll just share my final thoughts. Unless things really, really go somewhere else. It feels like we are getting into the end game, the Bond end game here. Brad, do you think you'll jump in?
I don't know, maybe not. My appetite
moves.
for my appetite for like scripted narrative, linear, Uncharted style single player games like this is like pretty limited these days. So I don't know. Maybe.
Well, we will take a quick break here. We'll come back and see what you have jumped into in just a second. We'll be right back. This week's show is brought to you by Factor. Alex Navarro and Brad Shoemaker. Factor sends me food that is ready to eat.
Wow, really just getting it out of the way at the top here. No dancing around the subject. Just, hey, you want food in a box? Here you go. Factor.
You want to know about the nature of this product?
Factor.
Here you go.
Factor. Oh, you do have to heat it up.
Yes.
You do have to heat it up. So let me tell you a little something.
Okay.
On my own, when it comes to food, I love food. Everybody knows this. This is why I'm just getting right to the point here. I love food. I could be my own worst enemy. If this is the problem I have when I go and I'm like, I have the best intentions. I take everything out of the fridge. I'm going to make my food. And then while it's cooking, if it takes more than like 5 or 6 minutes, I'm also very hungry. Now I'm eating while the food is cooking. And then by the time the food is done, I'm like, well, I've cooked all this food. I actually just ate all the stuff while I was cooking. And now I'm going to eat the food. And I wind up eating twice. Factor has the food prepared, and it doesn't take very long for it to heat up. So while that's going, I could do a little stretch maybe. I could just kind of go spin around in a circle for a couple of minutes. I could really...
You can stare longingly at the microwave for 2.5 minutes, right?
Yeah, not maybe directly at it, but, you know, like off to the side, askew of the microwave. I could definitely fill time without eating for 2.5 minutes. That's not too much to ask for me. Plus, Factor has meals built around my goals, whether that's weight loss, overall nutrition, more protein, GLP-1 support, etc. They also have strength and workout recovery like Factor's Muscle Pro. We also know a Factor is fresh, never frozen, and they have over 100 weekly meals, including globally inspired flavors like Mediterranean and Asian. So there's always something new to look forward to. Plus, they have a newly launched ready-to-eat salad variety with vibrant ingredients like elote corn and miso edamame, plus 70-plus add-ons to round out your nutrition from green juices to peanut butter energy bites. Yum! How can you get in on this? You can go to factormeals.com/Nextlander 50 off and use code Nextlander 50 off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for more details. Thank you, Factor. This week's show is brought to you by Beta Hat. Alex and Brad. Did you ever play a video game?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably saw someone play one, once in a while. Yeah,
I hear it's very big these days.
Yeah.
Watching people play games,
and it can be frustrating sometimes when you're watching somebody play a game or actually playing a game and being like, "Man, that is who designed this thing? How did this make it through some kind of process?
Who thought this was a good idea?
Words
I'm sure I've said to myself before.
The answer is you.
The answer could be you. So Beta Hat is a company that is run by a friend of ours, an ex-coworker, Stan Kwan. Let me just give you a second here in this brief ad to say Stan is one of the people who inherited the responsibility of managing Giant Bomb when we moved over to CBS/CNET, right after the Whiskey Media sale. Stan was awesome. He's one of the few people who actually understood what Giant Bomb was about. And now he runs a company that tries to understand or put developers in touch with people who will play their games to understand what is making them tick and makes the game tick. He basically runs focus groups.
Yeah. You've heard of a focus group. It's where they put you in a room, they give you a product, and they say, what do you think about it?
Yeah, and we've talked with Stan about this, and we've talked with him before this opportunity even came up. He runs focus groups for all sorts of companies, very big ones, games that we can't mention here that you've heard of. And he basically came to us and said, I need good people. I need people that know what they're talking about, because these developers are actually listening to the feedback they're getting. And when the feedback is bad, the developers are then listening to bad feedback. Your audience knows what they are talking about. He knows the Giant Bomb audience, knows that these are people who are way into games and are knowledgeable. So
how can I get in on this, Vinny?
You can get in on the focus groups and play tests and do surveys and all this stuff by either heading to betahatrc.com. That's betahatrc.com. And when you sign up there, tell them Nextlander sent you. Or if you want to head over to our Discord channel, the Nextlander Discord, you can go and see an announcement we put up, and that'll have more instructions about how you can get alerts and updates during this campaign when Beta Hat has a new focus group or new announcement to go up. So betahatrc.com, or you can head over to our Discord and you can check out the announcement over there. Remember, tell them Nextlander sent you, and say hi to Matt, Rory, and Stan when you're over there. Thanks, Beta Hat. All right, we are back in a game that I'm curious to hear your thoughts on.
Your
thoughts on. I only played the demo of this ages ago.
Oh, did they put out a demo of this?
Yes.
Did they
during
really?
a Steam Next Fest.
Oh,
yes.
wait, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
That was one of those where I saw it and I was like, well, I mean, everybody's going to play that. I don't need a demo of that.
Yeah, and then it got delayed, right?
Yes.
I think this is Mina the Hollower.
Mina the Hollower. I don't remember how long the delay was. It doesn't matter. It's out now.
Yeah. What do you think?
And I have played some of it. It's pretty cool. It's growing on me. I wasn't necessarily 100% sold on it, but the deeper in I get, the more I feel like I might stick with it. It's the new Yacht Club game.
Yacht Club.
They of Shovel Knight and its mini spinoffs and DLCs and so forth.
Yes, expect to see Mina in every indie game.
Yeah, I'm just doing it again. I'm sorry, but it's Link's Awakening Souls. I mean, whatever. There's probably, there's other stuff in there too, but like that they make that style of 8-ish to 16-bit.
Yeah.
That's more 8-bit. They're Shovel Knight and this are both way more 8-bit. And in fact, this game is a Game Boy Color game.
Yes.
Like 1,000%.
Aesthetics-wise.
More than that. Like there's definitely there are other things there too. But yes, like the look and sound, like the music, the color palette, the complexity of the sprite and pixel art stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's straight out of the Game Boy Color. The thing that's the most in my face Game Boy Color-esque elements is the scale of it. Which is to say, like, go back and look at Link's Awakening or something like that. Like the Game Boy and Game Boy Color had very low resolution screens.
Yeah.
And you can't fit much on the screen at one time and make it legible. This feels like that, which is to say it feels super zoomed in. And if you're playing it on, like I am playing it on a 65-inch television,
yeah,
it feels like it's cropping about 2/3 of the like viewable space of the game off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because again, they've shoved the camera in very tight, like it was an actual Game Boy game. So.
Is it 4:3?
No, it's 16:9.
It is 16:9. Okay.
But it's just everything is huge. Like all the tile sets, the sprites, like the tile grid scale is so big that you just can't see that much at one time. And it's fine, whatever. The levels are designed around that. It's totally fine. But there's definitely a sort of, I don't know, getting used to it period where I was like, this, I feel like I need to be able to zoom this out.
So it is a kind of throwback retro top down or severe isometric.
Top down. It's a top down game. Plays like Zelda, moves like Zelda.
Yeah, like Game Boy Zeldas.
Has Soulsy elements. There's like a bonfire equivalent. There's kind of a Souls equivalent, which is bones.
Bone.
In fact,
the bones are their money.
You don't level up. You bone up.
Bone up.
Like you get enough bones. It says bone up. It has an in-game manual, which feels like a really nice throwback because like the UI is like. They cram a fair amount in there. There's a decent number of mechanics to learn and like different numbers and things on your HUD. And there's a pretty nice manual with like they diagram the HUD with pointers to every element saying this means this is this. Here's why your health bar has both red and yellow segments. Here's what to do with this. Like it's all very nicely explanatory, but everywhere in that manual that they talk about leveling up, They say like, oh, collect enough bone. When you hit 350 bones, you'll bone up. Parentheses level up. Like every single time they say bone up, they put in parentheses level up. It's kind of funny.
That's fun. Yeah,
bone up.
So is it when I played in the demo, I remember it just being kind of an action game with the jumping between the platforms, right? Like
yeah, but there's a lot of new. Well, go ahead. I mean,
yeah. Well, so I was going to ask you what as again, this was just in a brief stint with the demo. What are your thoughts on the loop of the game? Like,
the controls have a fair amount of nuance to them. Like it's pretty hard. Like they're demanding a fair amount from you right out of the gate. Like even the first boss forces you to engage with all of the mechanics in a way that you can't just skate your way through. And I've seen people that are deeper into the game. I've seen people saying it's like pretty fucking hard.
Yeah,
almost to a fault.
What kind of mechanics? Like, what are you doing?
The main thing is, well, you have a jump, but you also, as a hollower, you can dig. Like, they go out of their way, like some NPC early on is straight up just like, I wish I was a hollower, meaning I could dig under the ground and emerge somewhere else to pick objects up, or like, they're just tutorializing the ability to dig. But like, the dig has all kinds of applications. I mean, I assume you saw this in the demo. I don't know how much was in there, but you dig to go under things, like to get under barriers. You dig under like rocks to pick them up and throw them. The dig also doubles as your roll, like or dodge. Like it's what would be your dodge in another game. Like you go underground for it's got a limited amount of time. Like you start flashing when you're underground when it's about to run out, and then it'll forcibly pop you out of the ground if you don't do it earlier. But the difference from a roll is that a roll typically like a dodge, you dodge in one direction. After you've picked your direction, you're stuck with it, right? Like as opposed to the dig, once you're underground, you can move around freely under there, but you move much faster underground than you do above ground. And like, again, that's what I mean about like that first boss is kind of unbeatable without using the dig and dodge type mechanic, because he's just too fast to dodge above ground. So you have to use it for that. It also is a platforming ability, because basically digging and popping out gets you more air than the regular jump.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
So there's like also quite early on, they immediately start throwing platforming challenges at you where you can't just jump your way through them. You have to use the dig launch combo to get over longer gaps as well. Okay. So like they're like making you kind of do everything you can do to get through it, like right off the bat. Like it's not messing around.
You have a whip or something?
So you choose your weapon early on. That's another interesting element of it, is that you, right in the intro, you get a chest with 3 weapons in it, and you have to pick one of them.
Okay. Are you locked in?
For a while, yeah. I have not gotten another weapon yet, but it's pretty clear you can get the others later. And there's I don't know how many total are in the game. You get the choice of 3 up top, and the manual lists 5 that you'll find.
Okay.
Over the course of the game, and I assume there's probably more hidden than that. Like a lot of the stuff in the manual, like for the trinkets as well, is like, here are some of the trinkets you'll find. So I assume there's more than just the 5. And also the weapons, you find multiple iterations of the same weapon, they level up.
Okay. And that's permanent?
Yeah, I assume so. The initial choice is daggers, which are super fast, like a flail, Morningstar, Castlevania whip, and a hammer that you can charge to do a heavy attack.
I assume it's much slower than the others, like more powerful.
Yes, probably. The basic attack on the hammer is actually pretty fast, but I took the hammer, but the charge attack is slower, but you can also roll out of the charge.
Oh.
Like it's a technique game. Like these are definitely people who made Shovel Knight. Like they're people who are putting a lot of nuance in the movement and expecting you to engage with it. So the upgraded weapon forms that they talk about in the manual sound really cool. Like the daggers attack very fast, and when you upgrade them, you get the ability to throw one of the daggers, but then when you only have one dagger in hand, you move it's not movement, it's attack. Your attack gets way slower until you go retrieve the second dagger that you threw.
How do you upgrade the weapon? Just by getting
That's
multiple?
When you get more of it. Like you find, which must mean that they scatter multiple instances of each weapon around the game.
You can't just pay for them. It's not like a shop.
Not that I've seen. Okay. No, your bonfire equivalent is the underlab, which you dig into. Like it's just a tile in the world that you cross that sets a new respawn point, and that's where you spawn when you die and have to go get your bones. That's another Soulsy thing, by the way. The bones just attach to the enemy that killed you.
Oh, it's like
or lie on the ground, and like when you die, it's like next death you'll lose your bones.
But you do have to kill the enemy to get it if it is attached.
If they're in an enemy, which they're not always. But you did when you hit the bonfire underlab thing, you dig into it to go underground, and that's where all your kind of dispensers and weapon chest and stuff like that are. It's kind of a little home base.
So, I don't know, this is not a, I'm sorry, you tell me, is this a run-based game, or is it more like a Souls-based?
No, it's an adventure. It's a straight ahead linear adventure.
So you're keeping progress and you're...
Yeah, totally, absolutely. It's a Zelda game or a Souls game or whatever comparison you want to make, but it's got that flow.
Okay. What are you thinking so far?
It's cool. I wasn't 100% sure I was loving the way it played. The movement is a little slow off the bats and stuff. I don't know. But the more I play it and the more upgrades I get and stuff, the more I might stick with it.
Do you know if you get abilities like not Metroidvania necessarily, but like, are you getting any new abilities in your playthrough?
I haven't seen anything yet, but
have you seen like locked gates or places you can't go? Like you need a bomb, or
not yet.
Okay. I'm curious. Music? Yeah, any memorable? Yeah,
that's fine.
Okay.
It's chiptune-esque, but I think probably more instrumentation than a Game Boy could handle, but
appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're doing a lot with the graphics. The pixel art is excellent. Like the cutscenes in particular, like they are really just going wild with the parallax background layers and lighting. Like there's a lot of like basically sort of like fake pixel art lighting, lighting effects and reflections and stuff like that. Like,
so this is not they made a cart for this for the.
No, I don't think this could run on original hardware.
This is $20. It is available pretty much on everything. Switch as well, Switch 2.
I might pick it back up on the Switch 2, actually. I might. This feels like a good travel game. And in fact, like I said, with it being super zoomed in, I think the scale might feel more appropriate on a handheld than it does on a giant TV. Like playing it on a Switch or a Steam Deck, I think might actually be the intended experience.
Or an AYM Thor.
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever.
That sort of thing.
Whatever floats your boat. But I might save the rest of this for when I travel. Next time I go see family or something. Like, this feels like a good Switch 2 airplane game.
Well, Mina the Hollower out, very anticipated. I might try and pick that up once I get a little hole in my schedule here, which maybe I do once I finish First Light. We'll see. Moving on from that, let's talk about a generally, well, you know what, Alex, let's do it. Let's spoil Directive 8020. That's
sure.
Or actually, Brad, do you care?
Go ahead. I'll
okay.
I mean, I still want to play it, but my girlfriend has been very busy, and we haven't had a chance to set an evening aside to get into it yet.
And I'll just say at the top here, based on a little bit of reading I've been doing, it does sound like there is some room for variation within endings and things that happen depending on certain choices that are not always, let's just say, extremely well signposted what they actually mean. But we did get an ending.
We did. So, spoiler warning here. We may talk about the narrative beats that were in our playthrough, which at least one or two will probably be a thing that are in all playthroughs that I think are, important to talk about because they influence how I feel about the story. Yeah. So, spoiler warning there, Directive 8020. But first, before we get to that, Alex, you've seen a lot of Supermassive games. What do you think in kind of the catalog? Like mid-tier?
Yeah, it's very mid to me. Like, okay. It's not terrible by any stretch. I think their over-reliance on stealth sequences and fuse puzzles is not doing it any favors.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing for me is that, like, the Quarry had a real camp factor. Until Dawn had a real camp factor. Some of the Dark Picture stuff had less of that, but some of it had more of it. Like, it is wildly varying in quality as that stuff goes. I think, like, House of Ashes was pretty good. I thought the fucking Murder House one was not very great.
Right.
But, the thing is, when they lean into the camp stuff and they lean into the more ridiculous parts of whatever tropes that they are pulling from for their games, I think that tends to work better for them than when they try to do something that's a little more straight-laced. And I think Directive 8020 is a little too straight-laced about what it's doing.
I think when they caricature their source material, it works out better for them.
Like, there's just not enough bigness in a lot of the performances.
What is the, like, top... We don't have to rank all of them, but what are the, like, top three of the... Like, okay, it's Until Dawn and The Quarry are not Dark Pictures games.
But I still put them at the top of
No.
Supermassive's
I'm just taking inventory here. Like, those are the two that are not Dark Pictures branded. And then there's Man of Medan, Little Hope, House of Ashes, The Devil in Me, and now Directive 8020, and then Switchback VR is on this list, but come on.
Yeah.
So the Devil in Me is the one Alex was talking about. That was the murder house.
That's the murder house.
The H.H. Holmes murder house one.
That's the one we streamed at some point, right?
Yeah, Little Hope, I think, is the kind of a pilgrim-esque one, right? Where you go back in time, like you're in the colonial witch trials one, right?
Yeah. That's the one I remember the least.
Like Salem witch trial-ish one. Man of Medan, I think, is a really good one. That's the one that's on the boat.
Yes.
That was the first Dark Pictures, and then House of Ashes is the Iraq War
one.
Yeah. Which is also like a kind of interesting
I think is
one.
the best of the actual Dark Pictures specific lineage.
No kidding. Interesting. I did not know that.
I like Man of Medan a lot, mostly because that one also has really good co-op.
Yes.
Which they have stripped out mostly from those games, which I understand. I mean, it's budgetary stuff.
They can't all do it, yeah.
So I think this one probably does fall in the middle on that list. I think Until Dawn will hold a special place, not only because of the scope of it. It's that I would say the delineating thing here is scale, right? Until Dawn and The Quarry are just bigger games,
longer games.
Yeah. I really like The Quarry, and I don't know if you guys were ranking The Quarry in there.
The Quarry
is in their best, among their best output.
Yeah, The Quarry's
and it's
pretty
fun.
rad.
I think the acting is very good, and I do think they lean into the tropes to have fun with it. This one doesn't seem like it's having fun with its itself is a weird way to put it, but
maybe it needed more Ted Raimi.
Yeah, maybe. The thing is, space horror is a weird one because you can do really dark, serious space horror type stuff, but the tropes they're pulling from are movies like Event Horizon, and Event Horizon is ridiculous. I love that movie, but it's fucking ridiculous. It is a goth spaceship that brings hell back with it, and fucking Sam Neill tears his fucking eyes out, and it's Jack Noseworthy is the worst actor in the world. It doesn't matter. We can see him get jetted into space. Like, everything that happens in that movie is ridiculous.
Yes, they go all the way.
Yeah.
They don't stop.
And there's other things they're pulling from, too, but it feels like a lot of the space horror they're pulling from is more ridiculous than they are willing to be with this story.
So I think this one has like 3 gears, this game. And one of them is, like you said, a kind of neutered is a little mean, but like a kind of, I'll just say it, like a neutered space madness, right? Like a kind of like, oh my gosh, it's so gross, but it never goes all the way to eyeball ripping out, or it's more the Thing kind of paranoia.
Yeah. But it's also not doing the thing very well. Like, and this gets into the spoiler that we kind of ran into, and I think this is where things get really muddled. Is that they establish early on there is this alien threat. It is a thing that can copy people. It is a thing that can sort of like dupe organic matter, but also is going kind of haywire on the ship. But then they try and tie this into a larger plot about clones and sending clones into space instead of actual people, and this whole mission around how they know there's this alien force out there and they know about it. They are sending these clones so that they can learn more about it. Every time they end up dying in a mission, another set of clones goes, and that's like kind of interesting on its face, but the game does not seem to have any really great ideas about how to blend those things
or deliver on it.
Like, the part where it shows up on the ship is just sort of remarked upon. It's like, wow, that's the first time it's ever actually, like, punctured the ship and attacked before they landed on the surface. But then nothing is really made of that. There's no real motive for the alien force or any real, like, conflict with it outside of the fact that it's just kind of running rampant. So the idea that, like, there is some secret conspiracy about knowing about this and we are trying to learn about it for broad reasons feels very strange, considering the core plot is that Earth is dying. The Mars colonies aren't working, so they're trying to find new homes. What does this fucking Thing alien have to do with any of that?
They're so fixated on it, and they don't really go into a lot of detail. Maybe it is because of our playthrough that we didn't get that stuff, or maybe we missed things about why this is the savior of Earth, but we don't get it. I think, Alex, tell me what you think of this. My biggest criticism of this game, and Brad, I feel like you'll appreciate this because you played this at a Summer Game Fest, right? And I feel like this was the kind of core thing of the game, where you're like, oh, this is going to be a really interesting game where you're not going to know if the alien is somebody else, right? Like, because it could do body snatcher stuff. And I just feel like they abandoned that at some point. They just kind of give up on that concept about halfway to 3/4 through, and it's just hiding from Goop Monster.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is that unless we miss something really wild that explains this, they never really say why the alien suddenly starts fucking up all the time. Like, early on, they make some very perfect clones of people, and they are sort of, like, they don't behave quite right, but they are generally very readable as people.
Confusing enough to the people in the game to be like, are you the real one or not?
But by the time you get to the halfway point, like, it's just every clone that fucking births out of that thing is like missing half a face and then turning into like Resident Evil monsters and stuff. And it's just like, why? I don't know. It just is. Yeah.
So instead of having, there's again a couple of strong beats in the game where you're like, all right, make a choice. Is this person the real person or not? And you're like, okay, that's what I thought this game was. But then I feel like 70% of the encounters are hide from this goopy alien that just looks like a Resident Evil monster, stealth your way around, turn the electricity around. And look, these games have to do something in them to make them of an hour count or get there or add gameplay. You can't just have it be all just decision making. But past games, even in the supermassive catalog, have done this better. I think just have made it feel like Brad, in Until Dawn, you've played it, right? Yeah.
Not a ton. I played the first like couple hours back when it came out. I didn't finish it though.
But you played through the quarry with us. We did.
I saw the whole quarry on that stream. Yeah.
And it felt like
I played a fair amount of it myself.
And it felt like you were just making choices that you're like, oh shit, what's this going to do? What's this going to do? And not just like in a shooting gallery or something like that.
Like very meaningful choices.
Felt like it.
I mean, it's going to depend on the gimmick of each game, but in that case, it was like who's going to get bitten and become a werewolf or not, or who's going to get cured, or like pretty meaningful branches.
And so this one just kind of felt like there are a couple of those for sure, but then also a lot of stuff that just feels like, oh, I don't know, this feels like I could just read the intent of the developer here to pick the choice. Sometimes it's just like, it was weird. It just could be very systematic in our playthrough. Maybe we branched in a certain way. But when you're presented with a choice, if you're doing a playthrough where you're like trying to save everyone and you're given the choice of run or save person, unless you're being it's tricking someone, you click save person, right?
Usually, yes.
And we'd hit save person and they would just save the person. You'd move on. So maybe if something would have happened, if I failed another QuickTime event or something else would have happened to my character, but it's a little plays it a little on the safer side, I think. And it does have that rewind mechanic, which is fine.
I don't mind them putting that in there.
You can turn that off if you want.
Did you guys play with it on?
We did, yeah.
I rewound used it a couple times. Yeah.
Really? Huh.
One time I was just button mashing to get through a thing, and I hit the wrong button, and the person just died. Yeah.
Nice to have the option for something like that.
Another time I made a choice, and Abby and Alex were yelling at me, but I still think my choice was the right one. But
probably. Yeah. But okay, so like what it comes down to with me is that like you said, they've done versions of this that I think are just better and more complete than what they ended up with here. The performances aren't terrible, but they all feel like they are acting in different games in a lot of cases, and sometimes the characterizations just shift from scene to scene in ways that feel like, did we miss a scene? Did something happen that would make them suddenly be like this? I just think it's not a coherent story. Like and maybe there is more that we didn't see, but I think part of the problem is that some of the big choices are just not well signposted, and they are not elaborated in a way that makes you understand. Like there's one that's like, do you want to be empathetic or do you want to be some other, trait? And apparently that has really big, meaningful consequences on the story. But the moment it appears in and the thing it's attached to does not feel like it is some big consequence driving choice. Yeah. And there's a few of those that I feel like happen. And the stuff around the edges just isn't interesting enough to make up for the lack of coherence in that stuff. Like these stealth and the puzzle solving and whatever else is nowhere near as interesting as the general supermassive milieu stuff of making choices, getting people killed, and that kind of stuff.
And they do supplement some of the, like you just mentioned, Alex, the character trait building in texting with your crewmates. that feels a little inopportune at times.
It's
if you
paced
want to.
very weirdly.
Like you'll just have like pending 5 text messages you have to do. But if you don't do it within the segment, you might miss out on those text messages, right? So
you're like sending text as you're hiding from a monster that's like around the corner or something.
And the texts are just like, how you doing?
Yeah, how's it going? Hey, did you know this guy did this thing?
You're just like, and you can hear the monster just stomping around outside. But you're like, well, now my empathy went up. So anyway, I think it is. I think it's in the middle of the road for these games.
It has its moments, but I think the aesthetics are really the only thing that does it for me. Like, it's a good looking space horror. They came up with good space technology and weird goopy monsters and stuff. It's just, I don't think they really knew what they wanted this story to be.
There was also, like, aesthetic wise, the ship gets in very bad shape with its thingification of a biological human horror. Hands, faces just in the walls, almost to a saturation point. So by the time you just see that stuff, you're just so awash in it, it doesn't spook you anymore.
Right.
Like you're just like, there's this, I don't mean to call it out. Again, we were streaming a game. Sometimes that changes perception. But there was just this door where there's just a flesh monster that couldn't move behind it. And it just was goofy looking. It just was like a stationary mound of faces. And you're like, yeah, you really can't move. You're just
like
writhing.
I could see that being kind of scary if you're playing a PS2 game, but it's just like when you walk in there, it's just some faces going,
right, yeah. So I will say, you can watch it somewhere buried in the game. There are 2 interesting things. One, Brad, they do tie it right back into the dark pictures because the curator's in the game.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
He's an unlockable cutscene, apparently.
Yeah.
Right.
If you get enough of the collectibles in it, you can get it. 2, they do this in most of the dark picture stuff. There's a teaser for the next game buried in there, and it looks like a found footage game. It looks like a VHS style game where here are the rules. Like you can't, don't do this. The first sign that you're infected.
It's basically
is
the ring. Like it's somebody's like a ring tape type kind of thing.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. I'm so no disrespect to 80/20, but I was like, shit, I'm looking forward to that. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's get that one going.
To be fair, I said that about 80/20 the last time one of those games wrapped, and I was like,
oh,
space
shit,
horror.
space
I bet
horror.
they'll do a great job of that. And I was like, okay, maybe not.
They did an okay job.
Is it okay?
Yeah. So that's Directive 80/20. I think it's right in the middle of the road there. Probably leaning towards my the back half, the bottom half of it.
What's the worst one?
I do think that House of Horror one is probably the least memorable to me. I think Little Hope and that one are probably the weakest for me.
I would agree with that. At least the ones that I've seen.
Like again, if we count Until Dawn and Man of Medan,
Until
Dawn and The Quarry.
Yeah, they definitely all count.
Yeah, those are really big ones, and I think they hold up. I think they're very good. So I think those are near the top. There was an Until Dawn too, right?
Yeah, but not from Supermassive.
Well, that's what just got announced yesterday.
Oh, Jesus.
Which we'll get to in the news.
Oh, my God. I just totally had like a weird...
Yes, that was less than 24 hours ago.
I was imagining, I think, the remake as Until Dawn, too.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Yes.
Yeah, so
it's the same studio that's making 2.
Yeah, that's what it is that Fire Sprite made that remake.
Jeez, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I don't think people really loved that remake, so...
I kept meaning to check it out. Like, they changed a lot about the way it played. I think they turned it into a bit more of a traditional like third-person game where you just walk around as opposed to kind of mostly watching and making choices.
So it's a weird thing for them to be competing against.
That's cool. I think
genre.
it's cool. I think it's cool for 2 studios to now be doing this style of game. Like it would be cool if more people were doing this.
Yeah, it's a little like Elden Ring going up against like Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Like if Sony were like, yeah, we're making a Bloodborne, we'd be like, okay. All right, that is Directive 80/20. Before we move on to the Sony State of Play, I finished Saros.
Great.
I did it. I saw credits and then I saw credits again. I got the platinum because it's a Sony game, and of course I got the platinum.
Yep, of course.
I wasn't sure if I was going to get the platinum because there's one trophy in there that was beat a biome without taking a hit, and I was like, oh man. But by the time I was done, I was like, I think I can do this.
I think the first biome in particular, I've replayed it enough times that I could totally see that, especially when you get really powerful.
So I tried. I'm not going to go into any spoilers here in terms of what actually happens specifically with the story or the stuff here. But here's a general spoiler warning for Saros. So I started trying to do it on the first biome, and then I was like, man, this boss sucks to do without taking a hit, because you can't just nuke the boss because it has stages and different health bars. So you can't just damage dump on the boss, even though you're way over leveled. It's going to stop you it's going to stop you not arbitrarily, but where things are. So there are bosses, though, as you know, Brad, that only have single health bars that you could just basically just nuke with over leveled things. And that's how I wound up doing it. I found one of the bosses that I'm like, oh, this is a single health bar boss. I could just out level this boss to the point where I could just shred it very quickly. And it's a thing that I never did when I was playing for realsy, but you can just skip most of the combat if you're not solar gated, right? If you don't have a gate. Of course, when you're doing it for real, you might want to just level up, and that's what I did most of the time, is just kill everything because you want to level up. So I just found a spot where I could just zip through the level, do the thing. Took me a few tries, but I wound up doing it. Anyway.
Do you have to get all the collectibles to get the platinum?
No.
Oh, interesting. No. Okay.
No. You don't even have to finish the tree for the platinum, which is good, because I did not. You do have to get a certain number of halcyon, whatever it is.
Halcyon is the purple one.
You do have to get a certain number of that. You have to do a couple of things, but like I said, I mostly had, I think it was like 88% by the time I had finished. There's one that is in there that is ranked as a bronze that they're like, this is easy. And it's you have to defeat an enemy by not firing a shot at it. You have to use the environment, quote unquote. And there's some mechanics around that I said I wasn't going to spoil if you haven't gotten the abilities yet. That was the hardest one for me. That took me, I had to find the right spot to do it. And I finally wound up doing it, got that, and then put the game down. I do think the story is interesting.
Okay.
I do think they go interesting places. I think they leave it open-ended enough. It was open-ended enough where I watched a video after to be like, okay, I'll watch one of these like lore videos. I was mostly in my head on board, right about what I thought happened here. The things that were ambiguous, the lore video was like, this is ambiguous. You didn't miss anything. This is supposed to be ambiguous. We just don't know what this is. So it's kind of a downer of a game. Like there's an ending and then there's an epilogue, right?
Oh yeah, I'm bracing for it to not be the slightest bit uplifting by the end.
Yeah, and I thought after the ending, I was like, okay, let's get the epilogue, and then I was like, oh man,
yeah. I mean, also, the entire tone of that game is everything just spiraling downward. So
yeah, so I do think the story delivers, and they stick the landing in kind of an interesting way, in a way that was unexpected, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Obviously not as far as you. I need to get back to that game, but I guess I was finding the story engaging in spite of itself, I guess I would say, because it is so obvious, the space madness, Lovecraftian, blah blah blah, But even with that like kind of predictable premise, like it still was kind of getting its hooks in me.
I think they build up enough world building and leave things ambiguous enough to leave a kind of thought-provoking, interesting tale behind them when they're done. And I think the characters, or at least the your main character, winds up having an interesting journey through this whole experience that you can kind of be like, oh shit, man. The gameplay, I just like it. I just enjoy it. I like being over leveled and running through earlier levels and just shredding through parts that I had a really tough time with. I like the weapon selection that you get. You wind up just having favorites, and there are modifiers where you can be like, hey, just have more of the weapon I have selected drop. So you can put a modifier on that's like, hey, weapons similar to the one you're holding will drop, because you just wind up getting such a big selection that there are certain weapons I just did not enjoy.
But there's no ability to pick your starting weapon, is there? Like,
well, you start with the one. If you
start with
die,
whatever you start with whatever you had last time, so you're just going to get more of what you already had. I guess at that point you would only turn that modifier on when you ended with something you like.
Yeah, and it's not always. So it's more of a chance to get the weapon that you like. So sometimes even if you're using a rifle, you'll get a handgun pop up, and if you want to switch out, you can. Yeah, so the other trophy in there, just a heads up, is the one that you need to get like 15 or 20 kills, I forget what it is, with each weapon and each variant of the weapon. But it does not tell you how many kills you got with each weapon. So by the end, I had, out of 420, I think it is, kills, 420 kills, I forget what exactly it is, I had like 410 or something. And I was like, fuck, man, I don't know which weapon I need 10 kills on. So it was the first time I ever pinned a trophy to the side where it puts the whole screen in a smaller window and pins a trophy to the side. And it just went around collecting weapons, killing things until the number went up. I did not realize it counted the your power weapon, your super weapon in that count. Because there was one that I was like, I don't like this. I'm just never going to use it. And then I just had to get my kills with that thing and a couple of other things. And I was donezo. Thank you, Sony, for your Sony trophies.
I kind of love that phase with a game like that.
The mop-up?
The post-game mop-up, the just checklist. Like, I know this game very well now, and I can just kind of go down the line doing stuff because it's all very familiar to me.
Only when it's achievable. I don't like it I don't like it when the trophies or the achievements are like, dude, I'm just not going to replay this whole game again on hard. Like, I'm just not going to, like those kind. If you don't give me a new game plus, I'm just not going to do this whole game experience again.
It's just kind of a comfy thing. Like that's a cozy game to me. The cozy game is just the mop up post game hard stuff like that.
So one other interesting thing I'll say about the progression in that game is when you're playing through it the first time, I'm a little confused on this, but I think this is how it goes. They will force you to come back through pathing or certain areas. You'll dead end and you have to come back to the base. I think if you start, because I made it from beginning to near end by just rerunning the course again, beating people. And I was like, like just kind of doing trophies and stuff. It didn't dead end me. I was able to so I think they must open up portals or whatever to let you keep progressing on to the next area without ever, because if you come back to base, your run is over. Right. So I think I was able to do a continuous run from start to near finish, not total finish of the game. And that's pretty satisfying when you're like, I'm level fucking 99 here. Fuck with me. I dare you.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Cause you really can just, when you're picking up weapons and abilities that are in the 80s and 90s on levels that expected you to have in the 15s or 10s, you're just shredding things. It's a lot of fun. That's Saros. I really, really liked it. I think it delivers. I can't wait to see what Housemarque does next. If they stick in this genre, almost made me want to go back and play more Returnal, but then I remembered how frustrated I got towards the end of that game. And I just don't think it has the power leveling that Saros has, where you can just push by your way out of the difficulty, which is probably what I wound up doing. All right. I think that's going to be it for the games we played.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm still playing TerraTech Legion, but
of course,
probably just going to be playing that for some months at this. I mean, it's pretty slow going because it's tough and it takes a while to unlock the harder difficulty levels and stuff.
Yep, it's a grind.
The only thing I will add real quick is I feel like a real dunce because it took me way too long to realize that all of the tires, all the ground stuff, it's mostly tires. There's some treads as well. I know it's like the driving stuff.
Yeah.
Are additive. For whatever reason, I had it in my head that you had to go 4 wheels on everything, and it was just like, I got a set of new tires. That means I have to swap one of my old tires out. Is the way I was playing it for some stupid reason.
You can have all the wheels in the world if you want.
Yes, not realizing that every single extra set of tires or treads or whatever you slap on there just adds its attributes. And so, yes, it's completely changed that game.
Is there a trade-off, like the maneuverability, or
not really? Other than you just have, some of them have downsides. Some of them are like -8 acceleration or whatever, rather than
they mark that.
But the only real trade-off is you just have to find room to fit everything, and you start getting real stupid with adding extra blocks on there just to put more tires.
Great.
And I guess I would say the other downside is you can actually maybe get a little too much of a good thing. Like at a certain point, your top speed is so fast that it's like I can't actually control this anymore.
That's great.
Like I've actually gone a little too far, but and they did update it. They added a recycle which I previously have said was not in there, but in the past week they patched in an option to recycle blocks you don't want.
What do you get for it?
I think you get a reroll because you have a finite number of rerolls for when the blind box drops loot. You know, it's like, I want to reroll this one. I think one recycle turns into one extra reroll.
That's interesting. All right.
And they also tweaked the driving control. Whatever, we don't need to get into it, but that game continues to be very good.
It's TerraTech Legion, right?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, let's take a break here. We'll come back. We're going to talk about the news. We're going to kick things off in the news with the Sony State of Play, which just happened yesterday. So we'll run down what was shown there, what we enjoyed seeing. Then we'll get on with the rest of the general news. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break. So stick around. All right, we are back. And Sony had their State of Play last night. Now, it was a pretty long show for State of Play, I'd say, over an hour. They, Brad, before the show started, you said, I will reserve judgment until the show starts. If they start with Wolverine, that means they are probably going to have a strong finisher here because Wolverine is something they touted that would be there. Was a known quantity for being there. Is it going to be the headliner or the opener? And it was the opener, and a fairly visceral, grisly opener it was. I think that game looks pretty good. It looks very bloody. It looks like I think Alex, you said it during the State of Play that maybe Insomniac is getting a little something out of their system.
Out.
Yeah. They showed what seemed like gameplay. Quite a bit of it. They showed story beats here and there. It is some Trask, which I think, Alex, you said is the Sentinel guy, right? He's the
Boulevard Trask, at least in the fiction, or at least some of the fiction, is the guy who invented the Sentinels, more or less. Yeah,
and it seems like Wolverine is tearing a path through his armies or some associate.
So I did a little bit of reading, and apparently in the fiction of this game, the X-Men have not fully formed yet.
Okay.
So this is all pretty early X-Men universe stuff.
Okay. This isn't Xavier's X-Men?
It sounds like it, at least.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how Jean Grey gets mixed up with Wolverine at that point, but, it would make some sense if the Sentinels are running around, if he's rescuing young mutants, because, Leech is in that trailer as well. Maybe there just isn't much of an organization yet as far as, letting people know mutants are out there.
So is there anything with Wolverine that you guys saw that, you weren't expecting? I mean, it's kind of...
Really.
Yeah, it kind of seemed
very much like what you would do with a Wolverine game.
I would have been more surprised had we not already seen the amount of blood in that game based on this video. If this was the first time we were getting that gore, I probably would have been gobsmacked by it. But since we have seen in previous trailers that this is a bloody game, it was sort of like, okay, there's just more of it now.
Yeah, somebody in our Discord chat said that it kind of just looked like a much bloodier and more violent take on the Raven Wolverine game from some years ago.
It's good.
I think it was all right.
Yeah, which is maybe not the worst thing. IGN has got an interview up with, I think it's probably the director of the game. I don't see... Sorry, anyway, Mike Daly from Insomniac. But they straight up say in here, it is not an open world game. It is not a sandbox game.
It's not Spider-Man again.
Yeah, because I was wondering how much this would just map onto their Spider-Man formula, and it sounds like maybe not very. It sounds like this is probably a much more of a linear narrative game.
And very heavily combat focused.
Yeah, and punishing poor Wolverine. So the thing that I enjoyed that was a new bit of information for me was maybe how they would handle his healing factor. And it seemed like in the, Wolverine is notably a fast healer. And in the game, it seemed like you're building up some kind of bar. And in the game, he kind of burned a segment of his bar, his meter, to just do a second wind or a third wind or fourth wind. And that's cool if you can build that up, because Wolverine, there's two things about Wolverine, right? He is short. he's a little guy. All right, sorry. Three things. He's got the claws. And the dude is just gets punished. He just gets he
is a hirsute man who gets the shit beat out of him all the time.
Yeah, because he's got his healing factor, right? So how do you do that in a video game where you have to have stakes for what your character can do, consequences for doing stuff? And it seems like that's an interesting way to go where, hey, if you build up enough rage meter, you can just kind of suck it up and heal. some of the cosmetic damage was also pretty cool, where Wolverine's suit was getting all torn up, and then you kind of see his skin healing underneath it. I thought was a nice touch cosmetically. But aside from that, claws are out. He's flying, blades akimbo, and slicing dudes up and doing brutal things to people with his claws. That's not really.
It looks fun.
The things you'd want from a Wolverine game. I feel like they kind of can't stray too far. It's a pretty known character there. It's like Spider-Man. He's gonna swing and shoot webs, and he's gonna do the kick, right? I guess the thing, Brad, you just mentioned are the mechanics of it. Is Spider-Man's an open world game? This seems like maybe a more straightforward path-based game.
Out in September. I can't remember if they had announced a date previously,
they had not
but
before.
Yeah. So it's a theme we will return to.
Yes, that's right. This was the first of the September drops. Hey, we're not going to be around. You're either coming in before or after GTA. Still.
Yeah, this thing was such a profound reminder of GTA 6. Like the GTA 6 release is basically just like a seawall, and the waves of the late 2026 release calendar are just breaking upon that wall.
Yeah, and maybe you don't want to launch yet, right? Maybe you're like, well, we're not even going to hit the ocean.
Yes, which is just another thing we'll return to in a minute.
Let's just stay on the Marvel thing because they did too. We saw some more Marvel Tokon, Fighting Souls. That is the Arc Systems Marvel fighting game that's coming out in August. So that's a little earlier than our September window there. Just more of that game shown. I thought that also looks very, very good. Said it during the State of Play. I think within the fighting community, to me, as an outsider looking in, this just looks like nectar. This just looks like something that would get lapped up at Evo. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know how these things go. It just seems to have all the ingredients of a hit. What do you guys want to talk about next year? Any surprises?
The God of War is the big one, of course.
Yeah,
sure. That's the closer they had.
How are we saying the name? Laufey?
Laufey?
Laufey? She goes by Faye, or she goes by Faye, right?
Yeah.
So I assume the second syllable is Faye, but I don't know. They never actually. I don't think they ever said it out loud.
No, they didn't.
People in our chat were giving kind of the background on the name. I guess it is a thing. It is the actual name, and Faye is a shortened version of it.
Yes.
But yes, this is this is their closer here, and it is Kratos' wife from the Norse series of God of War games taking another stab at things.
Like the character whose death you have been lamenting for 2 games, right? Suddenly, all of a sudden, is very much not dead, or maybe dead, or I don't know, but starring in her own game.
In some playable state. Yeah.
Although I read, I don't have the word in front of me. Like that whole intro sequence that they showed, and maybe the entire game is set in basically the god afterlife.
Seemingly,
the afterlife for gods is where they are,
or mythical beings at least.
Oh, I had the word in front of me. It's like the evenware or the everwhere, the something like that.
Interesting.
Because
there's that line. There's that line from that. The deity who she gets in a big fight with. I can't remember what mythology he's drawn from, but
he's Tibetan.
Is he Tibetan?
Yes.
I started losing track.
The one with the fire clubs?
Yeah. Like, because there's that line from him of like, I'll show you how hard it is to die here. So it is some kind of like afterlife for gods that they're in, which is an interesting. I'm mixed on this game. Like, it's both more predictable and less predictable than I would have expected for another God of War game. Like, it looks like it's still going to play very much like that. Like, you probably can assume the gameplay beats are going to be pretty similar with maybe
I think they're
different weapons.
I think they're on record saying that the combat has a little bit of a faster pace than the last two did. They said it was a little more like the old God of War, but maybe not identical.
But I bet there's still colored loot and all that stuff. Like, you straight up see her putting armor on in this thing.
Yeah.
But like the setting is way crazier than I expected. Like this idea of like just blending every culture's mythology into one plane of existence is like kind of wild and interesting.
I mean, I definitely did not have Sony Santa Monica doing their God of War spin on What Dreams May Come, that Robin Williams movie where he goes into the afterlife to find his dead wife type shit, like the journey across the afterlife. Did not expect that. That said, it is the funniest possible thing to take all the criticisms about like God of War games basically being dead wife games and then saying, well, fuck you, we're doing a literal dead wife game where she's the hero. The other really funny thing, and I'm stealing this joke from someone else, this guy Kiefer over on Blue Sky, because I think this is the perfect summation of this. Kratos somberly reckoning with his violence and aspiring to be a better father while his dead wife is doing double jumps and air combos in another realm is so fucking funny. Imagine if Laura Palmer was doing Doom shit in the Black Lodge. And 100%.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Like, it's very funny, that game. The Everywhen.
Everywhen. Yeah, that was it.
Is the place. So
that doesn't really roll off the tongue. I'm going to be honest with you. It really does not.
Yeah. Everywhen. So the interesting part about that game is she's like, oh shit, I'm not ready to go yet. I've got to contact Kratos and Atreus. Atreus is
the
okay. I was getting confused with Neverending Story for a second there. And then it's like, yeah, man, I played that game. It would be real cool if you said something, just kind of if you could break through, maybe get a message out there. That would be very helpful to their journey. Because it seems like this is taking place alongside
parallel,
Kratos' journey. But who knows how time works?
So they're out there hunting deer, and she's out there doing fucking air combos to gods.
It does seem like her stuff, though. Combat in those newer ones, God of War games, can get pretty fast. It is still,
but there's a much more deliberate pace in those games than the early God of War games, though.
Yes,
that's for
sure. And this seems a little more acrobatic in some of its combat, so that maybe it's different there, but very cinematic. It's so they're maybe almost to a. Yeah, not what is the phrase I'm looking for? It's not paint by numbers, but in the style of God of War cinematics, right? It's
sure.
The cinematics almost seem directed in a way that's like, this is a God of War game. We need to have the part where somebody grabs somebody by the neck and pushes them through 7 walls, kind of thing.
Yeah, I came away from this both kind of elated by the ridiculousness of it and also maybe just a hair disappointed that the new Sony Santa Monica thing wasn't just something other than a God of War game.
Yeah,
granted, it's a fairly different God of War game, seemingly, but I kind of hope that maybe they just had a new thing in the chamber.
That is 100% where I'm at.
And you guys, because I saw folks in when we were doing this live, were saying that this had leaked. I had not heard.
Apparently, it had started to leak a couple of weeks ago, but I had not seen any of those leaks previously.
I guess maybe Deborah Ann Wool had made a comment or two somewhere.
Okay.
Not, you know how voice actors will often just kind of like
they just
maybe
say shit.
Start spilling the beans a little too early.
Brad, speaking of voice actors, there was somebody in here you recognized.
Oh, yeah, Jack Quaid as the Cube. I think the Cube, people seem mixed on the Cube.
There's some gelatinous cube.
The Cube won me over, I will say.
It was once the big boss fight started and I saw the Cube scurrying around in the background that I fully got on board with the Cube fighting with you.
Like, it's definitely a slightly too cute by half sidekick that is definitely meant to sell some merchandise, but it's so stupid that I can't really be mad at it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where you found it, Brad, but the picture of the mocap.
Oh, I think they put out some material of, there was a shot of Jack Quaid on the performance capture stage with this big PVC pipe cube thing around him.
Okay.
Is it necessary? We don't know.
Probably. You got to block things properly.
This might be a really dumb question in the modern context of video games, so feel free to tell me it is, but like, didn't we just used to have animators that would do this kind of thing? And I know animators are taking this mocap data and turning it into what you see in the game, but didn't we just used to be able to be like, well, we don't need to have a person in a studio pretending to be the Cube because we can just have an animator decide how the Cube moves?
I'll have to watch. They did put out a Meet the Cast video, and I'll have to watch and see how much performance capture they are getting from that. But I will say this. Maybe they want the other actors and actresses to be performing against the actor there.
Yeah,
and maybe it works if he's in Cube 4.
Sure, and that's what I meant about blocking things. Like you have to, when you're already performance capturing everybody else, like you need that actor to occupy the physical space so everybody can interact around the volume that he's going to take up in the final scene. Like it just makes sense.
You're right.
It just looks very silly.
And also, like, I mean, I know the performance capture revolution has been an absolute net good to me. Like,
I know, yeah.
humans are the hardest thing to get right in digital form. Like that's, it's literally what the uncanny valley was defined around. And like there's just kind of like the improvement in human in-game performance and believability in the last like 10 years is just off the charts.
And also the way animators can use that data and tweak it and make it, fit within the general animation style of the game. Like there's just been a lot of advancements in how you translate that stuff into the video games. And
then there's the sword, also voiced. I don't know.
No, it's not the sword, it's the ribbons.
It's the ribbon, sorry. And the actress, and it might be somebody, I'm not good with actors and actresses, it might be somebody that is known, and people are like, that's whatever. But she's just holding like a little, I don't know if you saw her in the Meet the Cast thing, she's like holding just a little thing in her hand and shaking it as she's talking with the guy in the cube outfits there. It seems like the sword has a lot of mystery, the ribbons and the sword have a lot of mystery behind them. And they're like, don't you know what that is? Mm-hmm. Can't believe you would even entertain talking to ribbon sword.
Is it, I'm trying to think of famous swords. Like it's not Excalibur, is it? Like is Arthurian legend eligible in this pantheon or no? I don't know.
I hope we're all welcome.
I mean, look, we've got, Tibetan death gods or war gods speaking Mongolian. We got a fucking, Egyptian death god in there. Why can't the Arthurian gods or mythology be in there? Why can't any mythology theoretically be in there unless it's one you don't want to touch for political reasons?
I think that would be pretty funny if they just are like, all are welcome here. Perlina Lau is the is the voice of, I guess, Rue. Also, Frank is the cube with a PH.
Let's just call him Frank.
PHRANQUE is, yes, it's pretty funny to just call that, yes.
So yeah, I'm very curious. Right. I like the God of War games. I will jump into this. I assume, I don't know, what comes first, remake or this? This was an in development.
So they listed this as in development, but then Jason Schreier was posting like right after saying like, hey, this game's not as far off as you think.
That's wild.
Like don't read too much into this in development. This game is not years away.
What they showed was purported to be, kind of start. It seemed like, well, actually, they never said it, right? They just said, we're going to show you 20 minutes. And it seemed like it was the start.
There's a new game prompt at the front of this thing. Like it is explicitly clear this is the beginning of the game. I wouldn't be shocked if this game's out next year.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Early next year or late next year?
I would guess, I could see like this game early to mid next year and then Intergalactic late next year.
Okay.
Potentially.
Look, I'll take it.
I'm just guessing. But.
Yeah, right. You think we hear back from this before release then? Like before like a month or so?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely do more marketing for this.
I mean, if it's early next year, I feel like putting a 2027 date on it, would be.
I mean, they might just be hedging their bets, like things can definitely get in the way between now and then of them getting it out next year.
Yeah, I mean, that could be too soon. Like, it could be late next. I don't know.
They usually have a state of play or something in November-ish, right? Like towards the end of the year, like a third or fourth quarter.
Not really.
Touch base with their holiday stuff.
Nothing huge. Like it's more probably Game Awards. I guess I would expect to maybe see more of this.
Oh, right, Game Awards. All right, so that was their closer there. Let's just bounce around stuff that you thought was interesting or things that you weren't expecting from
Until Dawn 2, which we touched on earlier.
Until Dawn 2.
The people who remade Until Dawn are now making a new sequel.
I did see, just as a drive-by comment online, Graham Resnick and Larry Fessenden are not involved with this one. They were the ones who wrote Until Dawn and The Quarry.
Okay.
Interesting.
So they were never super massive people. They like Larry Fessenden is a horror filmmaker, like indie horror filmmaker. Graham Resnick is an audio designer in like movies, TV, like, he does like audio podcast series, things like that. So they came in and did this as part of that supermassive project for Until Dawn. And I think they brought them back for The Quarry, but they are not part of that general, like game development milieu.
This one, when we were watching it live, we're like, wow, man, this is like an off-brand Until Dawn, right? It
did look like an off-brand Until Dawn for a while there, yeah.
And so when it was revealed it was an Until Dawn 2 by not the people who necessarily made Until Dawn, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. So we'll see how that all shapes up there. Let's see. Announcement-wise, they're doing the Rayman Legends Retold
Yes, that was announced, or at least rumored for a while, that there was a new version of Rayman of the Origins Legends series coming out.
Looked good.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm just gonna say that game looked amazing back on the old platforms it was on. I'm not saying there's no reason to ever do a remake of it, but it feels maybe a little soon.
All right.
Like that game's like what, 10 years old?
Agreed. Yes, agreed.
That's where we're at.
Well, I think a little more than that.
Maybe like 12.
2013. So yeah, about 12, 13 years old. But yes, not an old game. Like still quite modern. But anyway, whatever.
Like me personally, I would probably greenlit a new one of those instead of a remake of an old one. But hey, I don't run Ubisoft for a variety of reasons.
Announcement wise, there was that Kemuri
was it Ikumi Nakamura, her studio,
Nakamura, yeah.
Unseen. Yokai Hunter.
I didn't get a lot out of that trailer. Like the game, like the animation and art looked kind of cool, but like other than it being kind of a co-op action game, I just didn't get a lot from it, and it kind of felt like maybe they were leaning a little hard on the, hey, we got Ikumi to do the talk here, and she's being quirky dancing, again. Yeah. And I do like her, but I'm just like, I'm just not sure that trailer did a lot for me.
Yeah,
co-op,
I think it might be kind of Monster Hunter-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I think is what they're going for. Maybe.
Yeah,
remains to be seen.
Yes, but it is multiplayer. It is co-op. It is go out and fight some big old yokai, the demons.
Yes, hunt your yokai.
Go hunt your yokai. That also TBD, but no, 2027. I think they had for that.
New Stuntman.
New Stuntman.
That trailer was pretty well executed.
Yeah.
I got to give him that one.
Good on you, Alex, for as you're just being like, that's just Miami. Wait, that's
Knight Rider.
Yeah.
They literally just did Knight Rider.
Yeah.
I think you called Stuntman about 3 seconds before the logo popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
I don't like Stuntman that much is the thing. And I love it conceptually. But Stuntman PS2 is not a game I think is actually that great, and I don't remember much about that Xbox one.
But how stoked would you be if there were more smaller scope, reasonably priced, not that great, but kind of okay middle tier games coming out?
I'd be totally okay with that. And Stuntman is a thing that I'm absolutely excited to see what someone else's take on that is. Because I also didn't like Reflection's other driving games that much. I never really was into Driver either. So like that stuff just never did for me. So let's see what someone else can do with it.
I think I started to touch on this in the stream. Like I think there is maybe some nostalgia yet to be mined out of that style of mid 2000s. I mean, we're in the mid 2000s nostalgia window now.
Yes.
Nostalgia is just famously on a 20-year delay. And like I said last week, like the piss green PS3 360 filter is starting to pick up some currency. You know, like I could look at the little pop that PsyOps got when it was added to the classics catalog yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I mean is like the PsyOpses, the Stuntmans of the world, like all of those.
Oh, it's PS2 time all the way here.
Yeah, like bringing going and I mean Embracer probably owns 80% of those intellectual properties at this point, but like just going back and bringing some of those games back.
Yeah.
With like modest budgets, you could probably do something if the games are good. That is,
if they're good.
So Stuntman is a saber joint.
Yep.
They are saying Universal Pictures films and NBC Universal TV shows, and I think we were able to get most of these when they showed up on screen. So good for them. Fast and Furious, Back to the Future, Knight Rider, Miami Vice, Death Race. They were all present.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how this all shakes out. That also, I think, is TBD in terms of when that's coming out.
Some good timing on that. They just put Knight Rider out on 4K this year.
Yeah? How many seasons of Knight
There's
Rider
4.
are there? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I loved that show as a young child, which is the age you should love that show at.
Surprised they haven't rebooted that.
They tried a couple of times. It didn't go anywhere. There was a very short-lived, I think, reboot series, and there was also like a couple of TV movies or something they tried to kind of spin it back up. None of it really took.
I thought that The Lost Wild looked interesting. I didn't get a great sense of how it plays necessarily.
Is that the not Jurassic Park?
Yeah, that's the in a world without a new Dino Crisis game, like somebody else showing up with dinosaur survival horror.
It's really funny to call it The Lost Wild when the second Jurassic Park movie is called The Lost World.
Yes, you're not wrong.
So it is a research facility they are exploring, an overgrown research facility that has
not a theme park. That's how they're getting around it.
Actually, I'm looking at the trailer again. I guess they did show some amount of what looks like gameplay. Like it's all first person.
Yeah,
that could be interesting.
Yeah,
developer's first game, so I don't know.
So they describe this on Steam as a cinematic evasion-based survival horror experience. So take from that what you will.
Survive the dinosaurs. Got it.
Experience the slow burn tension of being hunted by intelligent dinosaurs. Yeah.
What kind of intelligent are we talking about here, though?
I think pretty intelligent, deadly predators. If all else
is one
fails.
of them gonna fucking pull out a pipe and a fucking smoking jacket and be like, you found my lair. How dare you?
I think more just like they can open doors.
Oh yes, okay, clever girl stuff. Got it.
How feathered are they?
I think they were feathered.
Some of them were, not as many.
Raptors were. Yeah, where do they fall on the feathered dinosaur?
I think that's most of the new big games they got announced. Honestly, the real theme of this thing is that the last week of September is completely insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like most of the games that got dates here are in mid to late September.
Yes.
The latest release date on here is October 2nd, I believe.
Of the games that got dates, yeah.
With years, yeah. There's Phantom Blade is, I think, October 29th.
That's going to be delayed 5 more times before it actually comes out.
Phantom Blade 0? Oh, actually, yeah. Steam says October 28th, but IGN says, I don't know. Maybe that could be that might be a mistake in IGN's copy.
I will say the other interesting thing, though, was an omission, which is that no fair games anywhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's in our next news story, too. But just going back to what you were talking about, Brad, September, there's Control, got a September date. Control Resonant is September 24th. Silent Hill Townfall, September. Yep. Wolverine, September. Ace Combat is October 2nd. So, I mean, look, that's close enough. What else is
that
September?
Ace Combat trailer was all right.
Yeah, that was all right. Rayman Legends was beginning of October 1st. That's, basically September. It's a lot of September. And Marvel, like we said, Tokon is August. So September. Oh, and Onimusha was September.
Everybody always forgets about Onimusha.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's kind of it, I think.
Yeah.
I would say it was overall, it was like a reasonable presentation. It had some heavy hitters, some not.
It was okay as a late generation in an industry that is contracting and not funding projects.
Having a bad time.
Like with all of the external factors in play, it was decent, but definitely not as strong as some years.
Well, let's switch gears off of State of Play to talk about first-party Sony games in general. Brad Shoemaker.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I just meant to mention this in the course of this thing, is that Stephen Totillo of GameFile has been doing some work putting sales figures together and kind of plotted Sony first-party game sales over the last, basically since PS5 launched and before, and basically shown a steady downward trend until this past year. When they finally started picking up again, but first-party sales have been down pretty dramatically over the course of this generation. So,
I mean, they also haven't put out that many first-party games over the course of this generation.
Yes, I mean, I want to agree with you, and then somebody's going to be like, no, look at this list. There's just as many as PS4 or whatever, so I'm not going to fully embrace that, but I agree with you. That's how it feels for sure.
I think there's a slowdown for sure. There's Spider-Man games.
But it's not just them, is my point. Is that it's the AAA space has slowed down in general for the reasons we've talked about repeatedly, which is that games are more expensive, they take more people to make, all the time scales are just extending out.
Yeah. Yes, right. Things take longer to make. It is so that Fair Games, this story mentions it from Video Games Chronicles, mentions that Fair Games is Haven Studios' first game. That's they have not put out a game yet. So that is and that's I mean, I don't know. Do you guys feel like that game definitely comes out? Or is that
Not definitely. I mean,
I'm
definitely-
leaning toward yes still, but it
Yeah,
does feel like
yes.
it's getting harder for that game to come out over time.
I mean, the conventional wisdom is yes, because it survived that purge of however many live service projects did get canceled there. But I mean, anything is possible. They could still decide at some point that it's not worth seeing through.
right? So we'll see. And this is obviously not in a vacuum. This goes into kind of the Sony announcement that first party single player experiences will be console centric and not be ported to PC in the near future here.
Yeah, I just wonder what this means long term for the size of investment they have to make for these big, extravagant first party games.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's hard to know what they're thinking.
Yeah. Yes.
And how much they would tie the sales slowdown to decreased output or just to market shifts or who knows what.
And I assume fair game, particularly if and when it comes out, will be on try to be on as many things as possible. You know, maybe not.
Well, yeah, I mean,
launching on an Xbox,
if it's a live
but on
service,
PC, yeah.
If it's one of those live service games, it would probably be cross-platform.
Yeah.
They registered. I had to look this up because I knew I had seen this before. They registered a trademark for break-in like a week or two ago.
Break in or break in?
Break in. So
like breaking into a house?
Yes. So there's some speculation that maybe they were going to change the name or something, but it's not certainly not definitive.
Fair Games was never a great title, I'm going to say.
It's got a $sign in it, man.
Does.
Yeah.
When are we going to get back to using $signs for S's again as a
Please
society?
don't. No.
Now we're
It's
moving
been
to the gold
ruined.
standard.
Cash Patel ruined it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm gonna do it.
no fiat currency in my games.
Okay. Let's move on to Microsoft here. You mentioned it earlier, Brad. The breaking against the wall of Grand Theft Auto, or just getting out of the way.
Yep.
Fable chose a path.
Fable pushed to February.
Yeah. Okay. This was interesting to me. It's funny is not the right word, but in the quote here, Brad, I think who is it? Matt Booty who says the official thing that says this year is packed with incredible games for Xbox players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then goes on to list Halo campaign evolved, Gears of War E-Day.
That's just from the official Xbox Twitter account.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Control Resonant, that's not first party. Star Wars Galactic Racer, also not first party.
Yeah.
And Grand Theft Auto 6.
Okay.
Play it here first. Yeah, it's moving to February. They pretty much all but say because of Grand Theft Auto.
It says we're moving Fable to February 2027 so it can have the dedicated moment it deserves. Which, like, I get it, honestly.
Yeah, of course,
like that's like everybody's making that calculus right now. It's like either have it out the door by like early October at the absolute latest, or just push it. And if it's coming in even remotely hot where that doesn't seem feasible, or it's going to have a very bumpy launch to get it done that fast, like it just seems like the smart, like what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
And also, I think it's absolutely hilarious that I'm still thinking back to, remember when Death Stranding 2 came out last year?
Yeah.
And that game was in the same position. That's how long we've been doing this dance.
I know.
That game came out a year ago, and Kojima was complaining that they delayed GTA then because they were hustling to get that game done before September last year to get out of the way of it. And then he was like vocally like, yeah, it would have been nice to have that extra time if we had known they were going to push it. Like, we've been doing this for a while.
Well, if you want to get your frustrations out about this, if you're a game developer right now and you're being affected by the GTA 6 launch, good news, they have put Strauss Zelnick in WWE 2K26. If you want to beat the shit out of him and stone cold stun him to death, you can do that.
Huh.
Yeah, but then you'd have to buy 2K.
Yeah, okay, I'm not saying do that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you already have possession of this video game, they threw him in apparently as a free character, and they rated him a 77, which seems high for a man who mostly has run a video game company.
Weird.
They also didn't tell anyone they were going to do this, which makes it especially weird.
That's funny. That'd be funny if a dev was just like, I'm putting him in.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's drop him in there.
Fable is the game on the Microsoft slate I'm probably looking forward to the most, barring State of Decay. Like, that goes without saying. But that aside, my zombie perversion aside. I think Fable actually sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Fable wraps into launching now, especially now that we've seen some Masters of Albion. See what the Fable team Playground, right, is doing Fable.
Yes, the Forza Horizon developer. I don't expect it to feel Molyneux-esque, and maybe it shouldn't.
No, and from what they've showed, it looks like it could be really fun.
But
so.
their whole spiel about we have 1,000 actor NPCs that have routines and live lives, and that does sound Molyneux-esque and could be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to that game.
Well, that's February. Microsoft having their state of the union, their what do they call theirs?
It's just like Xbox Showcase.
State of the box.
I don't know that it has it's just the Xbox Games Showcase.
I think that's
they got to come up with a catchier name for that.
And I think that is also so far just seems like E-Day, the Gears of War stuff seems to be the thing they are promoting the most for that showcase.
Yeah, that's what they have most directly, right?
That's the thing they're talking about, because it's getting the post-show direct slot this year.
So I don't know if they show more Fable there. I don't know what else they would have there. Maybe Grounded 2, go into updates there. But I'm not sure what else they have cooking that they're ready to talk about.
Yeah, they probably have some announcements. I mean, they've certainly got a ton of studios. I wonder if Bethesda is going to have anything to say at all. At this point, probably nothing profound, but maybe there's some kind of Elder Scrolls 6 teaser or something.
Didn't Todd Howard say we shouldn't have done that? Wasn't he like we should not have? Didn't he say somewhere we shouldn't have announced that early? It was too early. We should never have mentioned it.
I don't know. People need to chill the fuck out, man. Of course they're going to make another Elder Scrolls game. The idea that they had to come out and say, hey, don't lose your minds just because we're making something new. I promise we're going to get back to that other thing you love.
Yeah. They'll do it. Well, kind of speaking of Microsoft, or kind of speaking of games that Microsoft has developed or people who work there, Alex, Forza Horizon ain't going to be the only racing game-ish.
No.
How do you describe Forza Horizon versus Forza?
Forza is a hardcore simulation racing game. Forza Horizon is real, serious, hardcore simulation cars, a real-world environment, and inviting you to drive those cars through every part of that environment.
And a lot of EDM.
Yeah, and an insane amount of EDM and alt rock that is weirdly anachronistic.
It feels like there's always some slightly corny music festival going on in the background.
Yeah, I mean, the Forza Horizon Festival, as it was originally pitched, was a music and motorsport festival.
Right.
And it seems like the one that's taking place in Japan, their latest one, people seem to enjoy it, or at least from what I've heard, that people who have played it. Well, we have a story here from Ex-Forza Horizon devs with another racing take.
Yeah, they this new studio here, they're making this game called Clutch. Maverick Games is the name of the studio. It is some core members of the original Forza Horizon team. Mike Brown is the creative director on this. And it's a narrative driving game. There's a whole... I mean, the immediate touchstone I go to is that F1 the movie thing, because it was big last year, and that was obviously the story of a racing, but mostly a brand exercise. This seems like it's doing a similar thing, telling the story of a up and coming racer, some characters around the edges, but also it is from people who have made Forza games. So I bet the driving pedigree will at least be pretty good.
Yeah, and it is open world.
Yeah, is
the other thing. So you can probably assume it's Forza Horizon-ish.
Yeah. And Jamie Brittain is the writer. He is the co-creator of the British TV show Skins, which I've never seen, but I know people seem to really like.
They in their announcement here, they talk a lot about their custom or modified version of Unreal Engine 5.
Mm-hmm.
Is the cars will look very good.
I'm sure they will.
Saying. The cars usually look pretty good.
Oh yeah, cars were the first thing to look very good.
Yeah. They don't have Microsoft money to do that kind of car fidelity again necessarily, but it seems like they're able to do some stuff.
And one of the pull quotes here that they, as they say, I'm paraphrasing, is something like, "We want the old cars to look not like they just rolled off a showroom, that they look and perform like they are older cars," which I think is interesting. I'm actually interested in a narrative take on this stuff.
I actually am too.
Yeah.
Especially it being open world, because I do like a driving game where you can just tool around and find stuff to do, but also getting a story in there is cool.
Yeah.
They're apparently they're going to show this game itself at during the Summer Game Fest stuff.
Oh, cool. Like, do you know, on the stage or around it?
It just says the full trailer will be shown during Summer Game Fest.
Oh, yeah, that probably means on the stage. Cool. So that's coming from the Horizon folks. Maverick was the name of that studio. And that's Clutch. We got a sale here. We're going to talk. Here's our little minute here of. There's a short version of this, which I'll say, which is PlayStack. That is the folks who made games, or published games like Abiotic Factor, Golden Idol, Balatro, Mortal Shell. If you remember that.
Yeah,
name?
Mortal Shell's cool.
Yeah, so they are selling or are basically being sold to Vantage Co., which is an investment and holding subsidiary of Integrated Media Company, IMC, which is under TPG. People might know them as the Texas Pacific Group or TPG Capital. Basically, it's the folks in some way or another who are associated with fandom, and which by a proxy are associated with GameSpot.
And former until not super long ago Giant Bomb. Like that's the reason to talk about this.
Yeah. So it's like I tried to spend time digging into this of like, okay, it is really a chain of holding companies and subsidiaries here with TPG, IMC, and Vantage being in that chain. Jonathan Miller is which I had to look up, is like the CEO running the Vantage part of it, and he's got a history of all these other companies, which was actually kind of interesting to go into. But it sounds to me like a bunch of holding companies and subsidiaries in that sense. So the short version is the publisher of those games, PlayStack, they were owned by TrueFin, or they had like an 87% or somewhat stake in PlayStack. Has sold that stake for $151 million.
I think it's just worth noting as a sign of the changing media landscape. Like it kind of reminds me of when IGN bought Humble.
Yes,
like just the idea of companies owning both games media entities and also games selling entities at the same time is like not something you would have seen back in the day.
It's just like these kind of investment companies just have a lot of properties.
Yeah.
It's like they're giant, multifaceted, multi-armed money companies that sometimes want to divest and sometimes don't. I forget, oh my gosh, the language in the sale agreement. I don't think I actually pulled it here. I forget exactly what they called it. I found it. The disposal. When they talk about what the offloading, they said, which will result in net cash proceeds receivable of approximately 112 million euros, or the disposal is the sale, which is, come on, folks, we could have better language than that, right?
You would think. You would think.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like PlayStack's not the biggest publisher in the world, although they've actually put out quite a few pretty good indie games, but like still, like it just, nobody cares anymore. But, it does that raise that question, if you're a GameSpot person, what do you do with games put out by PlayStack now? Like the world just doesn't give a shit anymore. Like I feel like a dinosaur even talking about this.
I know. Did we talk about this on air or off air?
No, we talked about it on the Ramblecast a little bit. Yeah. Just briefly touched on it, but I mean,
yeah. You put a little note in a review that says,
right.
Hey.
Yeah.
It gets weird. I don't know. What do you do with that? Nobody cares, I guess.
That's the real thing, is I think people just don't care anymore.
Like this is all downstream of like the influencer culture being dominant for 15 years now, right?
But you know what I'm going to say in counter to that? I still care.
Yeah, same.
Like, maybe that makes me a little old and out of touch with where things are at these days. I mean, we've talked about this before with, like, our own sponsorships and our own discomfort with doing sponsored content around, especially around game stuff and everything. And, like, I just don't think I'm ever going to change in that regard. Like, this is how I came up in the industry. These were kind of the guidelines that were always set. These are the rails we were never meant to touch. And I just have no there's nothing inside me that wants to break that and say like, oh, well, no one cares, so I can just go do that. It's like, no, I still think that sucks. I still think those kinds of conflicts of interest are a problem and need to be teased out.
Yeah, yes, and like regardless of the audience's level of concern about it, like I don't enjoy the level of like mental discomfort it creates for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just add into that and this isn't some kind of pitch, it is more of a, like, I feel very lucky to not have to rely on feeling like I have to make decisions based around that for survivability. Because there are plenty of people who just can't survive in this market without trying to find every angle to squeeze some kind of coverage out.
In fairness, it is very different when you're working for yourself and can at least make your own decisions around what sorts of relationships like that to engage with. It's very different when you're like working for a large company and somebody 10 levels of management above you makes a decision like this and foists it upon you and expects you to figure it out or deal with it. And like that's certainly different.
So anyway, that's the sale again. For their part, everybody involved is like, great, internally. Sorry, I should not say everyone involved. The people who are speaking about it, CEOs, and are saying, great, the
spokespeople.
Yes. What a partnership. I'm excited for this partnership. All right. Again, that's Abiotic Factor, Golden Idol, Balatro. I didn't play Mortal Shell, but it's another one that they published.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. But I have played a lot of Abiotic Factor, Golden Idol, and some Balatro. I know you guys have played.
I've played a lot of Balatro.
Yeah. Finally here, Brad Shoemaker.
Story of the week.
StarCraft
II 5.0.16 PTR patch notes.
I feel like we were just joking around about it.
We were not that long ago.
Yeah. Were we? Really?
Yeah. Well, we were joking around about Diablo patches, like, and being like, oh yeah, is Bungie 10 years from now going to just patch Destiny 2 while the servers are up?
Like I don't understand. I don't know what's going on here. Like they ended active StarCraft 2 development years ago,
a long time ago.
But there is a major patch hitting the PTR now or soon. This doesn't say if it's out yet or not on the Blizzard site. Do
you have an easy way to see when 5.1.
The last version, you want to say? The last big version?
No, I don't.
Okay. Sorry, this is 5.0.16.
This is 5.0.16 on the PTR, which again will not be out live for a while, if ever. I don't know, maybe I don't know if this is, that's what the PTR is for testing changes pre-release.
Is it public test realm? Or
test realm is realm? Yeah.
Brad, why does this patch matter? Why is this a big deal?
What jumps out to you?
Like I even though I have not played StarCraft 2 actively in like a decade, some of these changes like blew my fucking mind. I still remember enough of that stuff, but also just more broadly, like what is up with this? Like I don't. Of course, every time I say like StarCraft 2 is not really a major factor in esports anymore, people write in going like, no, people are totally still competing in it, and they're casters. Maybe I'm a fucking StarCraft 2 normie. I don't know how you want to put this, fair weather fan or whatever, but if Tastosis is not casting StarCraft 2, I'm probably not watching it.
Sure.
Hell yeah, really, we all have to have lines somewhere.
Is really where I'm at, and they pretty much only cast Brood War again now, so...
I do have a slight update here. I'll just say point 15 came out in September 18th, 2025.
Okay, so yeah, they do rebalance stuff.
Yeah,
off and on. This does have some really major changes in
like
it.
What?
Like we don't need it. Okay, well, you really want to know? Like they're kind of like they're kind of flipping the table on the whole economy. Like they're reducing the number of starting workers in your base by a third.
Okay, that's
like they're changing mineral values and gas values by a lot.
Okay,
like they're basically trying to change the whole flow of the match.
Like slow it down
economically.
Like, would it slow it down? I don't know enough about economy building.
We've tried to make this PTR focus on extending the early and mid-game experience, allowing players to remain competitive on 1 to 3 bases for longer periods. So I guess they're trying to reduce the amount of expansion you have to do, or like get more action earlier in the match. I don't know. Like I don't have the best like balanced brain for dissecting economic changes and translating them into like real world match flow effects, but like these are like as nuts and bolts changes as you can make to the flow of a StarCraft game. Is changing like worker numbers and resource values and stuff like that. The other thing is they are like massively reworking how the Protoss early game works. You don't have to build a cybernetics core to research warp gates anymore.
What the fuck?
You research warp gates at the gateway now.
That makes it earlier, right?
But then because and this is, please just press the chapter skip button if you don't want to hear this, but that goes back to the earliest days of StarCraft II multiplayer, like the Protoss gateway into warp gate tech. The 4 warp gate rush is like, that's like StarCraft II beta era build order shit, and something I never got past, really.
Okay.
But I also didn't play past Wings of Liberty, really. I never, by the time Heart of the Swarm came out, I was not spending a lot of time online with that game, so whatever. But yes, like that's one entire less building you have to build at the start of the match to get to warp gates, which is huge. But then also you have to pay per warp gate to turn gateways into warp gates now. Whatever.
Okay. I mean,
it's like pretty major.
It's big enough to
It seems to matter
ripples,
to the people who still like and care about StarCraft.
Well, and again, yeah, stepping back, it's like pretty major like reworking of core mechanics at a time when this game is just kind of not being actively developed anymore, you know?
Well, so that's like the question I guess I have is that like, is this, I mean, I don't expect you to have the answer to this because you don't work on this team, but like, is this something that bubbled up entirely because there is no Eye of Sauron on StarCraft anymore, and there's just this small team of people maintaining it, and they're like, no one's going to tell us not to do this, so let's just do it because we're the only ones keeping the fucking lights on here.
I think the likelihood is that it goes back to what I said at the beginning of this, which is there are actually more people still playing and caring about StarCraft 2 than I realized, just because I don't see it. And that's probably where these changes are coming from. That like whoever is the steward of StarCraft 2 balance is looking at the competitive scene and saying, okay, like these are the changes we need to make, and this is how we're going to get there. But again, like I'm guessing this comes from organic interest in the competitive scene that I just don't have insight into, but maybe I should, because StarCraft 2 is still the best esport made to me. Like I'm trying to choose my words carefully there, because like Brood War is the Street Fighter of RTS.
You heard him.
Okay.
Like in the way that Street Fighter is always going to be the most elevated form of competition in the FGC. You know what I mean?
It's the default. It's the thing everyone points. It's like, you know,
right.
You can just say Street Fighter and people will know you mean fighting games, basically.
Yes. You know what I mean? It's like it's always the ender. It's always the closer at Evo, right? It's always like it's the game that is like the purest expression of, to most people. You know,
yes,
like most people are always gonna like kind of like bow the most to Street Fighter in that scene. Like Brood War is the same way. Like Brood War is like the RTS for a lot of people,
but not StarCraft 2.
Not everybody. No, like StarCraft 2 did well enough, but it did not replace Brood War.
No,
like I said, the most famous casting duo in the scene went back to Brood War.
On the Reddit, because that's the only place I really felt like I needed to go. The StarCraft Reddit.
Oh, I didn't think to look at that.
13 hours ago, rant. Don't play Brood War. Why you should play StarCraft 2 instead of Brood War.
Cool.
Tearing it up. Tearing up the charts.
Yeah,
and also the patch notes thing has over like 1,000.
Yeah, there's 1,100 comments on this. I should read this, actually. I don't know. I didn't even think to look at the subreddit.
Yeah.
Top comment, 6 question marks. How is this real?
Reasonable.
So people, second top comment, StarCraft 3.
I mean, okay, if you were going to seed the idea of eventually launching a StarCraft 3, which I'm not saying is in any way imminent.
No, definitely not.
I think getting a little update out there for StarCraft 2 and starting to bubble things up around that again might be the way I would go.
Yeah, sure. But again, I really think this is just like the StarCraft 2 scene is not huge, but is still quite dedicated. And like whoever they've got on this game still is resourced well enough that they can make changes of this extent. And
this Reddit thread is amazing because every bullet point just have people being either like, holy shit, or like, I can't believe they did it.
Like literally the next comment down is that bullet point, starting workers reduced from 12 to 8 with somebody saying, holy shit, they did it.
I don't know what that means.
That's exactly what I mean, is that I think like this community, whoever is still playing StarCraft 2, still got strong opinions about the way it's balanced and how it should work, and they are being receptive to that. Anyway,
yeah,
this is just kind of a rambly news story summation that is interesting to a very small number of people, but one of them is me. So thank you for listening.
It's a part.
I don't know.
It's a part of this. Look, we have to pass over stories about what's happening in the biggest Korean MMO scene. We have to pass over sometimes stories about what minor thing happens in a fighting game, community game. I'm glad we can have some kind of input into this kind of stuff, right?
Oh, totally, yeah. And,
what's this podcast for except for us to talk about our highly specific personal interests?
I mean, and for like a fairly significant period of time, StarCraft II was like the thing I cared about the most in video games, and led to me having one of the weirder and cooler probably experiences of my career in going to that tournament in Korea. And
hell yeah,
I would still watch. I should go find some StarCraft II esports to watch. Like, I would still watch competitive StarCraft II if I had like a good steady drip of it, which probably does exist somewhere, but I don't know.
I'm sure somebody can hook you up.
And the casting really does matter. Like, I know that's no shade on like other casters out there, but those two guys are really good at casting StarCraft II in a way that makes it very digestible.
Well, maybe this will have a resurgence. All these people in this Reddit basically saying,
I might reinstall StarCraft II.
Become a caster. Become the caster you need.
I need to go check out those earlier game warp gates.
Build more pylons. Pylon.
Yes. Yeah, there's whatever. We should move on. There's some whole change to warp in speed based on pylon energy field that I didn't quite grasp.
Pylon.
Warp in time is no longer determined by slow power fields. I don't even know what that means.
Fuck yeah, of course. I don't even got no time for slow power field. Brad Shoemaker, that's going to do it for the news. We're going to wrap here in a second, but Brad, is there one email we can hit before we before we wrap up here?
Sure.
Podcast at Nextlander.com, podcast at Nextlander.com, podcast at Nextlander.com. Hit us with an email.
Zach from Savage, Minnesota.
Zach.
During the Destiny 2 shutdown discussion.
Yes.
By the way, I talked to some people on the Discord yesterday about how much content has been locked in that vault permanently.
It's a surprising amount.
It's like way more than I thought. It sucks.
Oh.
Tremendously. Like a ton of Destiny 2 is just locked off forever and unplayable forever now.
Open the vault.
Way worse than I thought. Anyway. During the Destiny 2 shutdown discussion, I was reminded of a few weeks ago when I went to a used game store in my area and they had multiple boxed copies of Anthem on the shelf for $20.
Oh, wow.
Crime!
With no indication that the game would flat out no longer work.
Huh.
This annoyed me, so I asked someone there, and they said the game was a collector's item now.
Oh my God.
Hey, fair.
I said that's fine, but you should really put a note or something that says it's unplayable.
Also,
yes.
Legitimate, yes.
They sort of hemmed and hawed for a bit and eventually said they'd put a note on it. Do you think stores should even be selling defunct live service game physical copies, or is there enough of an interest in it as a curiosity that you can sell it with a disclaimer?
I think you can sell it with I think legally, I feel very strongly about this, that you should have some kind of disclaimer on that box. But I do, as someone who collects things, I do think being able to still sell it is reasonable, especially on a store shelf. Because I wonder if on eBay sealed box anthems go for way more than $20.
I don't know.
There's perverts on there will buy anything. I think you could probably find a sealed Anthem box copy.
$4.99.
Really?
Yep. Sony PlayStation 4 new factory sealed Anthem, $4.99.
Okay, well then
on eBay.
You should probably buy that on eBay instead.
You should probably not buy it.
You should probably not buy it. Also, we don't know if somebody's reshrink wrapping that. We don't know if that's legit there. But
yeah, this is pretty dodgy to me, honestly. I mean, like let's be real. The odds of somebody accidentally buying Anthem without knowing what they're getting are pretty low at this point.
Like a walk-in.
But
also,
not impossible.
How are you still having that in stock somewhere? Like after all this time,
plenty of copies didn't sell. I'm sure.
I know, but like store shelf, are your shelves that open for space where Anthem can take up a slot there?
Oh, let me go you another one. What if it is a situation where they just got so many returns of that game before the servers went offline that they are still trying to get rid of them?
That's very possible.
Somebody who never opened their Anthem. I think selling it, but putting something that says currently not playable. It is, the servers are just not connectable.
They're
Right?
done
Like
so.
you'll install it and not.
You
be able
cannot
to do
get past the
anything
title
with it.
screen.
Yeah, right.
You literally cannot get past
You
the
are
title
literally
screen
buying a
now.
title screen.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you probably open yourself up to all sorts of bad business by selling that, but I still think for copies
Did they
should
say
not
this
be
was a
shredded,
GameStop?
you know?
Did they say this was a
No,
GameStop?
no. Let me pull the email.
I was gonna say
back up.
GameStop
I
has
just
absolutely
closed it.
zero compunction about selling anything like this. They will
believe-
they would sell you used motor oil if they could.
A used game store in my area.
Okay, so
that-
probably
okay.
a local store. If I had to
could
guess.
be that could be a local store.
Yeah. I don't know why there'd be pushback to saying that this is no longer playable, because I feel like
because they might
used
not
games-
sell as many.
Yeah, or you might sell more. I don't know. Like, it's all about marketing, baby. You got to be like, hey, old game no longer, available anywhere else.
I mean,
So,
clearly the real thing here is like those games aren't going to move at $20. What are you doing?
I know that's.
If I want a new copy of Anthem, I can get one.
The economy's
Clearly.
broken, man.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. I thought that maybe they'd be selling for more on like an eBay. I hate secondhand sales. All right. Anyway,
Man, sealed
Film.
copy of Watch Dogs Legion for PS4 for $6.96.
wow. How about PC copies? I feel like a PC copy should hold its value more because, then you got to bring out a PS4 and you got to have you got to have the console. How about a sealed PC copy of Anthem?
PC is just a Steam code at this point.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah.
that's not super
Yeah.
meaningful, really.
You're right. I bet there's a collection of sealed online games that I would be interested to see on a wall, like here's a sealed box, PC box copy of games that are now offline. I'm not saying somebody should make that collection, but it'd be interesting.
And is there a full list of games that are no longer playable?
Ooh, Wikipedia or some Apedia must have a thing.
That seems like tailor-made for a list. Well, list of delisted video games is not quite what I'm looking
that's not
for.
quite right. You're talking about like servers went down.
Yeah, I'm talking about games where even if you own them, there is no viable way to play them.
Yeah.
Which is a different thing.
I should try booting mine up and see what happens. I assume it'll just be a cannot connect to server. But last time when we did that stream,
What?
For Anthem.
Oh, I've done it. Like I said, you literally
just
hit
cannot
exit
connect.
title screen and it just times out trying to contact the servers and then returns you to the prompt.
Hey, look, maybe in a year or a couple of months there'll be some kind of bill or passage of something that has to allow for a patch.
Maybe.
Or homebrew servers or something. You never know where that's going to go. Maybe that copy of Anthem you bought for $20 will be part of a resurgence. Who can tell? But if it is, and it does happen, you know where you'll hear about it? Right here on the Nextlander podcast. But for now, that's going to do it for our show. We've got, like we said, we'll be doing the Summer Game Fest stream on Friday. So far, that is the on our calendar. There's I counted, I think there's 30 plus of these that happen between the 1st of June and Monday or Tuesday of next week, like June 6th, June 7th. All around this time, it's a lot of stuff. So we're going to do Summer Game Fest on Friday. And that's the one we've got on our calendar. We're not sure if we're doing anything else around that, but I do want to do on Tuesday, the Trailer Palooza thing. So hopefully, if you join in, I think last time that went for a while, many hours, there's a lot of trailers to watch. So if you want to come join me on Tuesday, maybe we'll do some wrapping up all of the cool trailers we saw, or as many as we can stomach before they tear our stream down. But this week we will be Summer Game Festing, and on Friday at 5 Eastern, I believe, is the start of the show.
Yes, I believe that's right.
So we'll probably start streaming about 10 minutes before that. That'll be Brad, and I will be streaming that while Alex is on his way over, or hopefully landing at some point in LA.
I'm going on an aeroplane.
Yeah, and so that'll correspond also you being out of town at Summer Game Fest, meeting and greeting people with a little break in the Watchcast.
Yes, there will be no Watchcast next week, but when we come back, Star Trek Summer, Star Trek Season 3, it's all happening, baby.
Yeah, this week we have Trekkies up.
Yes, Trekkies is up for patrons now. That'll be up on Monday for everybody.
Yeah, so you can check that out. Tide you over until we start our Star Trek summer. Like I said before, we finished up our Directive 8020 playthrough. So you can check that out and draw your own conclusions about what you think of that game based on our playthrough.
Or don't. Whatever. I'm not the boss of you.
Or don't. That's why we're independent. We're not allowed to be the boss to you.
Yeah. Do whatever you want.
Free thinkers here. Yeah. Hey, we got free opinions. They might be wrong. You might not agree with them.
I mean, they're almost certainly wrong, but they're mine, so you can't say anything about it.
And they're mine. If you want to keep us independent and you want to keep us free thinkers over here, the land of the free thinkers, you can go over to patreon.com/Nextlander.
Okay, and that sounded a little too much like a hostage thing, Vinny. Like you made it sound like I'm holding endemic ads up to my head like it's a gun, and I'm like, I'll do them.
He'll do it.
I will read a game ad.
I will join the Hoyoverse right now. He's in the room with me.
I will stream so much Clash of Clans for money if you don't support us.
Please help. Look, we all I'm trying to say, Alex, is that we can't do this without the support of people over at patreon.com/Nextlander.
Yes.
And we try to make a bunch of tiers there. There are tiers that you can get in for $5 a month in this economy. $5 a month gets you right in the door for a bunch of stuff, and then all the way on up, we've got a $10 a month tier, which basically blows the doors off, and you just start. You won't even be able to keep up. You'll just say, I don't even know how I'm able to swim in this flood of content. So you can get in there. You can go find a tier that is right for you. Many, many tiers there. It takes a village. There is one tier there that gets their names right on this here show. Alex Navarro.
Yes.
Would you please read our mysterious benefactors for this week?
Yes, and for reasons I cannot explain other than I feel like it, I'm going to do them backwards this week because I feel like it.
You're going to throw the cadence right out the window.
I know. I can't wait to see how this goes. Our mysterious benefactors backwards this week are Tyler Treese, David Campos, Matthew Herrig, Steve Lynn, Edward Chick, It Me JP, Alex Wu, Andrew Tiebkin, Randy Alderson, Randy Duax, Brian Murphy, Maybe Today's the Day It Happens, Statics, Jad Rita, Hashtag Bunny for Work, Pup Is My Name, Pugtato, Deirdre Is Dancing Mad, Jerry Lee, Evan Cook, Thordreen, John Hubbard, Jason Grimm, Skywarp, Brian Lucier, Kelly F., David L., Infelicitous Rips, Alpha Rhythm, Roasted Mechanical Spider, and the name's Vibes. Good Vibes. Ba-da-ba-da! It said Cubone theme at the end, so I just did that.
And Tyler Treese.
Yes, I had to get it in there.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks to all our mysterious benefactors. Thanks, everybody, for supporting us. Over at patreon.com/Nextlander. We cannot do this show without you. I mean it. We just can't. We try. We do the YouTube stuff, and then we do a Twitch thing, and they're like, that's not it.
That ain't it.
That ain't it. It gets demonetized. They're like, did you know that you played a song from a trailer in here? And then we're going to arrest you. And we'll take your house away. And we're like, please don't do that.
We're like, yes, YouTube, we did know.
Yeah, we did.
And we don't mind doing that because of the generous support of our patrons.
Hell
it's true. It's true. You keep us able to stay the course here. So thank you very much. If you're listening to this and you've thought about supporting us, patreon.com/Nextlander is the place to go. That's going to do it. We kicked it off with our state of play. That means not E3 has started. It's
yeah.
Hey guys, before we wrap up here, temperature check for this summer of announcements. I feel like the banging on the cages isn't quite there. The vibe I'm getting from people out there, like the enthusiasm for announcements. There's so much else going on in the world, I think, that maybe the clamoring and what people are like, I can't wait to see what's going on.
I mean, there's that. There's also like the industry itself is in a bit of a down period for numerous reasons, both internal and external. We're close to the end of the console generation.
And we know we're not getting any console news.
Yeah, like Microsoft said no Helix at their thing. Sony's already done.
Right.
Like the Steam Deck just increased in price 40-something%. You know what I mean? Like,
Nintendo is just going to do whatever it does whenever it feels like.
I can't remember if it was Asus or somebody just announced a new handheld this week at $1,500.
Whoa!
Okay,
things are just kind of rough right now. So I feel like. I mean, I'm always excited to see new games. Like that's
of course.
Always,
no.
It is always the thing I am the most excited to do is just see a bunch of new game announcements and also new hardware, even though there won't be that this time. But like finding out about new stuff is always exciting. But
of course, I'm not trying to say it's a disappointment in any regard. It just we've been around a couple of these seasons, and this one just I get the sense that there's not a thing I hear a clamor for. It just seems. I think people are generally more kind of cautiously sitting around waiting to see what comes out of things.
Yes.
And we will be there too with you for Summer Game Fest, and Alex, you'll be there in person. Can't wait to hear when you return what you were able to get your hands on, if you're able to talk about it with embargoes and all that stuff.
Yes.
Man, I thought about putting this in the news, or maybe I should just read it real quick, because you reminded me of, you're asking like how excited are people for this non-E3 phase or window. David Yarnton, who apparently was, I don't know if he was he was executive level at Nintendo back in the day, just talking about times in the industry when things were like white hot, has written a thriller, like he's just put out a novel.
Okay.
Which is a thriller inspired by his time at Nintendo in the Nintendo DS era.
Ooh, speaking of white hot.
I'm just going to read from, I caught this on Video Games Chronicle. The book is called Game Trap. Set against the backdrop of the 2005 era games industry, with Nintendo going up against the fictional Vantix handheld.
Okay.
Vantix is loosely inspired by the real-world flop Gizmondo.
Yep.
Haven't heard that name in a while.
A Swedish handheld that had millions spent on promotion by its parent company, despite never making a profit, and was eventually overshadowed by press reports linking several of its executives to organized crime.
Yes.
Yep.
You remember Gizmondo?
I sure do.
I had forgotten about some of the more salacious parts of that story, but yes.
Was that also the one with the high-profile car crash, right?
Yes, there was a Gizmondo guy that like wrecked a Ferrari. That's where the fake dude, right?
Yes, that was the head of Gizmondo Europe wrecked a Ferrari Enzo in California.
And he invented a guy that he said was driving.
Yeah.
Yes. My God, it's been so long. Anyway, just some of the quotes from Yarnton, the former Nintendo executive and author of this book, are about how crazy that time was at Nintendo, because that's when games industry revenues were just exploding and there was investment everywhere, and you remember how big games were getting at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Celebrities were really starting to finally get involved in games, like your Elijah Woods and whatever. Like, I don't know. Just thinking about the boom and bust cycle of the games industry. Since you're talking about how things are going now, like that book sounds like a fascinating thing.
I would love to see how they approach that.
I feel like it was...
Maybe we should option the rights.
Yeah, that's right. Let's make my series. I feel like it was a time when it felt like there was just unlimited potential, right? Like an unlimited expansion. And now it feels like a lot of people are questioning, and maybe this isn't a bubble of what we do, but a lot of people are questioning, how do you make this work in the future? How are we going to make the games industry work in the near future, both with employees, revenue, and publishers, and all of this stuff? A lot of people really interested in getting a piece of that monetary pie, and a lot of games getting very expensive. So we will see how some of that works later in the week at Summer Game Fest as we cover it. But for now, thank you very much, Alex Navarro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad Shoemaker.
Thank you.
Thanks to everybody who is listening and supporting us, and we will be back next week. See ya.